fire this thing up. Let's make sure our microphones are good. All right. Check, check, check.
Hey.
All right. You can hear everything good?
Yeah.
I'll probably bring it up a little more. It'll probably be about right there.
Okay.
By the time we get going, because I bring it down during the intro. It's a little loud.
All right.
And, yeah, heck, let's get this going.
Feels good.
And we'll just jump back into it. Bring this down. Make sure. Uh-oh. May not be that fast. Hold on. It doesn't like... I love when technology just bites you in the ass.
It happens all the time.
It does. All right, hold on just a second. I forgot where I got that.
Sweet.
All right, let's see.
Someone I know
if this
has
is
one.
back up.
That's a bar key. That's a big one. I think it was Donley up at Lola's. I think he has one that's the Falcon.
All right, I can delete that, and I can delete this, and bring this up. All right. All right, let's start this up.
All right.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here.
This episode of the
Last Kicker
is brought to you by
Geist Note.
and
Victor Wrench.
and Plastic Object.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Pam, come on. We're talking about Texas. Somebody somewhere wants enough cocaine to forget they live there.
Yeah, but not 100 pounds.
Maybe we'll get lucky, find an entire town that wants to commit suicide.
Tingling with excitement, trembling with horror, and throbbing with emotion.
The beat that keeps on hanging up. If not for the ears, well, maybe I'd be rosy about and all by myself. I forgot my name. I took a scratch on your chest and traded you for me to keep my record spinning on.
Show number 282. It is October 2nd, 2018. And normally at this point of the show, I say Happy Tuesday, Matt. But if you are a fan of a Stubbs-free show, boy, are you in for it tonight. And if you're a fan of me, well, I hate to disappoint you. But you can get a lot of me. Stubbs is out this evening, sick. And so I'm sitting across from another Matt. Happy Tuesday, Matt.
Happy Tuesday. Good to be here.
Mr. Matt Mabe, how you doing this evening?
I'm good.
Good deal. So you are in Matt's seat.
Yes.
Whatever has afflicted him.
Hopefully this seat's been decontaminated.
I came out here super early. I sprayed it down.
Oh, thank you.
I've got everything on it. I don't know. He's been sick since the middle of last week.
Tummy stuff, you said?
Yeah, I think it's the shits. I think it is.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it totally is. So, we'll see. I don't know. But I'm glad you're here tonight. It's going to be very intimate. It's just you and I, mono on mono.
Surrounded by all the things I love. There's rock posters, there's Star Wars stuff.
We've taken the penises down.
Oh, though I didn't remember there were penises last time.
There was one in the chandelier on the animal. I took them down because I thought my mom was going to pay a visit a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
and you know it's
she
mom.
doesn't want to be surrounded by dicks everywhere.
You know, I've never had that conversation with her. Maybe I should when I see her this weekend and be like, Mom, how do you feel about being surrounded by penises?
How
By
would you
giant
feel?
rubber penises. Is that okay?
You may get an answer you didn't want to know.
Yeah.
You
Find
might
out
be-
something about my mom.
Yeah.
Well, I did ask her once, as everybody should, like my conception, where it was, or
Oh, you asked her that question?
I was like, so how'd all this go down,
Bold question.
At a Who concert.
Really? No, fuck you. Really?
Yeah, no, that's what she came back with.
At the concert?
Supposedly, I don't know.
Wow. That's a great story.
It was like one of the Texas Jams or
Yeah.
something like that, or one of the early,
Wow.
or one of the big festivals that the Who played. She followed them around for a while.
I take it back. That's a great story. Your mom was kick-ass.
I think she's full of shit. I don't think that's really how it happened. I
Yeah,
think she was just trying to appease me.
Oh, well. That works. That's impressive. I don't know my conception story. I never asked.
Never got into it, huh?
No.
I wonder how many people do that.
I feel like that's fairly normal, but no, I don't want to know that one. I'm okay with that.
You're just afraid, like, oh, it was the back seat of a station wagon on the side of
I don't think
I-45.
it'd be something like that, but it's just possible. I mean, it was the 80s, so.
And it could be like, what's his name? Ron Howard. Like, all his kids, their middle name is the city they were conceived in.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, is that Bryce? That's why she's Bryce Dallas Howard?
Yeah, they were
Well, that's kind of cool.
conceived in Dallas. And I don't know what his sons are. I've never gone that deep, but
Yeah, I don't remember.
yeah.
Okay, that is kind of cool then.
But then you're stuck with that stigma the rest of your life. You're like,
you know what city you were conceived in. At
anytime you
least.
fly to Dallas, you're like, oh God,
This is where I started.
somewhere around here, my parents had sex and made me.
No, I never cared to know
Never
that.
went down that route.
No.
So before we started the show, we got into a conversation. For those that don't know, I have often referred to you as the Fort Worth go-to drummer.
I appreciate that.
It seems like anytime there is a project or band starting up, the first name that pops up to play drums is you.
Well, either that or I call them or text them and
I want to be in this.
talk my way in. I
Yeah.
did that with the Foo. I was
You
like,
did?
yeah, I was like, I got to be in this. Can I just please be in this? And they had their other drummer that they had already rehearsed with. I'm like, no, well, sorry, dude. And then finally he couldn't do it anymore for some reason, or I forget the reason why. But then I remember Che called me and was like, dude, you want to come do it for real? I was like, yes, let's do it, please. I've been wanting to do this for like 2 years. And it's super fun. And then, but yeah, I appreciate that. That's nice.
All those songs are fun
Yeah, they are.
all the way around.
So
So
Drum Olympics.
is there anything else you forced your way into?
Vodio kind of they asked me to record that song you hit on the open. I recorded a demo of that with them. Like they just kind of hit me up and let's hang out and let's just we have this thing we've been working on. Let's see if you like it or whatever. And I ended up laying down a demo drum track on it, and they ended up really liking it. And then they just kind of asked me a few days later, like, you just want to play in the band? And I was like, yeah, sure. I've always loved those guys back when they were called Shake the Moon and stuff like that. We did shows together with them, with other bands I'd played with. I think we did a show with them with the Foo one time. Yeah, I was like, I like y'all's songs a lot. I've been a big fan. I already know a lot of the songs. Let's do it. So that's been super fun. And then that was the only one I guess I passed the audition on that one. I didn't really force my way in. But the Foo, yeah, definitely like.
You actually had an audition for Vodio, huh?
Yeah. I guess that demo was the audition. So
Oh,
I did good.
that works.
I did good enough, I guess. Yeah, those guys are super fun. They're talented dudes.
So, who's your main right now?
Matt Tedder, I've been playing with for a few years now. Him, and I would say I've been playing with Ainsley as well on her solo stuff. I played on like 5 tracks on her solo record. Been playing the live gigs with her. And Vodio, between those 3, it's kind of, I think with Vodio and Tedder, we play a little more often. Ainsley does a lot of solo gigs and stuff like that. We just played at Twilight Fort Worth last weekend, which was really fun.
I saw y'all come in and set up.
Oh, you were there.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder who's playing tonight. And I look over, and there's a drum head with a Mandalorian insignia on it. And I go, oh, I know who's here.
Yeah.
I know who's playing.
I love when people know what it is. It's so rare.
Oh yeah,
I'll just get guys who'll be like,
Yep.
cool sticker, bro. Yeah.
I've got
like,
one
yeah.
on my camera bag,
Nice.
and then of course the gearbox over there. I made a stencil, and
Yeah, that's really cool.
it's actually my the curb numbers on my driveway
Oh,
has that.
I didn't even notice
sprayed in.
that. Really?
It's in the proper green with a little bit of red overspray. But yeah,
Okay, nice.
but yeah, it's when I'm out shooting or I'm at a game or something, someone will come and go, nice insignia, buddy.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yeah. You give the knowing nod
Uh-huh.
and the fist bump. You're like, yeah.
All
thank
of
you.
my gear that I own has a Star Wars sticker on it of some kind. I got a Telecaster with a Jedi symbol on it. My red drum kit's got an Empire symbol on the kick drum. It's super.
As it should, because it's
super,
red.
It's super nerdy, right?
Yeah.
My green kit's got a Rebel Alliance symbol on it.
Nice.
My blue telly's got the Jedi thing on it.
But is it nerdy anymore?
It's not as nerdy as it was when I was a kid. I remember I would kind of keep that.
I remember that too.
I would kind of keep that shit between me and my other nerdy friends, and then we kind of wouldn't broadcast it. So and wear T-shirts and stuff to school because we didn't want to get punched.
Yeah, that's the same way. Like,
But I think that's not like that anymore. Yeah.
elementary school, I had my entire Star Wars collection from when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I still had it, and still had it either on display. I may not be playing with it, but
Yeah.
every once in a while, you bring it down, you reenact some scene of some sort.
Yeah.
But yeah, you never talk about it at school, but friends would come over and be like, "Holy crap, look at
Yeah.
all this Star Wars stuff." Like, yeah, I kind of all of it's sitting right up here above us.
Really?
In this attic, yeah, I got all my 77 and through 84 stuff.
Wow, you go back that far.
And then when the new release, The Power of the Force or whatever, when the reissues came out, when all the figures were buff,
Yeah, yeah.
have stupid muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
They're like pro wrestling figures.
yeah. Why does Princess Leia look like she belongs in Glow?
Yeah.
Like she's built like crazy.
It's weird. I don't understand how those original like 77 action figures are so small.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've seen documentaries on this too with Kenner and the whole craziness of that whole thing because they didn't predict that they weren't ready for the
They
demands,
weren't ready.
and it was just really nuts. And they were kind of not very detailed, but they've slowly over the years gotten way better. Even for the new movies, it's still those little, what are they, 6-inch
Yeah.
figures.
Little ones. And I bought when they started putting out the 12 inches, the dolls,
Mhm.
like the big tall ones that were fully detailed. I bought the crap out of them.
Yeah, those are cool.
But it was the smaller stuff I kind of stopped because I was like, there's way too much.
Yeah.
And then I was dumb, and I'm a huge Boba Fett fan, so
Mhm.
I opened one of the first Power of the Force Boba Fett's, and come to find out there's a massive error on it.
Oh, really? Like on the box or on the figure
itself. And
Interesting.
if I hadn't have opened it, it'd be worth like $700 right now.
Ah.
But I opened it. I had it out on display. I was like, look, it's one of the new figures. And it was the whole Buff series where they all look way too big for themselves.
Right, they're all jacked.
Yeah. And yeah, now it's open. I can't do anything. Like, I think opened is like worth $3 or something.
Oh,
like that.
man.
I don't know. That's what happens when you quasi collect figures, but
Yeah.
are more interested in the lore of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, my little brother and I were really into pro wrestling, like action figures when we were young. But we always opened them because we would we'd actually like have shows and we would,
Yeah.
put them all in our room with the music and lights and stuff. We were fucking really nerdy about it, but it was, it was fun.
Yeah.
And he still has all of them. Like he found them like about a year ago in his old toy box somewhere in the garage, and I was like, man, I can't believe you have all these. They're in good shape, but you can't get any money for them. But it'd be nice. But oh well, it's cool that he still has them.
I had to go up there a couple of months ago, and I was looking for something, so I started going through some of the boxes. I don't remember what I was looking for, but I was like, maybe it's in some of these Star Wars boxes. And I know what it was. It was the Lucas Fan Club stuff.
Mm.
In the Bantha tracks, the old
Yeah.
Bantha tracks they had. And I was up there. I've got a folder with them in there, and I came across some figures that they were the mail order ones, like
Yeah.
the B-wing pilot and Palpatine, and there was another one that were still in the plastic from when they were ordered.
Wow.
I forgot I had them.
Yeah.
So I was like, huh, I wonder.
Did you look those up? See how much they're going for?
They're not going for anything. I guess the market got saturated. But I'd
Yeah,
like
I guess probably after all the reissues and all that stuff, it gets clouded probably.
I think so. Have you gone over to Holocron?
I did actually. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a badass store.
I can't afford anything in there.
No.
But it's really cool. Yeah, I went to a cool video game store too. It's over off Hewlin by the Guitar Center. It's in that shame. I think it's called Game Zone or something like that.
I haven't been down there in a while.
They have like old ColecoVisions that you can buy and old Atari 2600s and a bunch of old Atari games and like all the way up through PS4. But they had Nintendo 64s you can get, regular systems, and a ton of old games that were some of them still in the box, and just a lot of cool shit that I was like, man, I forgot about like Intellivision, like and ColecoVision and stuff. I remember we had those when we were really little.
The Intellivision, my biological dad had. And
Mhm.
so when I would go stay with him on random weekends, that would glue me in.
Yeah, we had
It
one
was
of those
so
at my
weird.
at my grandma's house. I remember.
It had the weird
Yeah, the little
number pad.
the
with
number
the
pad
round.
with the I remember there was a football
much fun.
game that we played on that we were obsessed with when we were kids and we couldn't believe it. I remember my next door neighbors got the original Nintendo when it came out, and I freaked out and I was like, "Mom, you have
Look
to
how
give me
pretty
this
this
for
is."
Christmas! I can't. Like, this is amazing." I was freaking out over the 8-bit Nintendo. Like it was like changed my life at the time.
That changed everybody's
I
life.
couldn't believe it. Yeah,
That was a big,
it was a huge deal.
huge deal. And the whole cartridge swapping,
Mm-hmm.
like you would trade with friends. Like,
Yep.
oh yeah, I beat this. Here, let's trade out.
Yep.
And you'd always get something new, and someone would want it immediately, and you'd be like, no, man, I got to play it for a while. But that changed gaming, period.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember ever trading Atari 2600 or 5200
Well, most of those
cartridges
games
with anybody.
sucked ass too.
They were terrible.
There
They were
was
really
a-
terrible.
Pitfall was good. Donkey Kong and like the original Mario were kind of good. But yeah, the rest of them. I remember having
Joust.
Joust
was on there.
Joust was okay.
That was fun.
I remember I had the ET game. The ET game was kind of notoriously terrible.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That's like supposedly the worst game ever made.
Yeah,
That's what a lot of people say.
and they made like way too many of them because the movie was so successful, but nobody liked the game.
And they buried them out.
They buried them. There's a documentary about it. Have you seen that?
They went and dug them up.
Yeah, they found some.
Yeah.
It ended up being true.
And there is an Atari game that is supposedly the worth the most. I think it was said in that documentary.
Mm.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's been out a while, but those were ridiculous times.
Yeah, man.
But before we chased that, or when we,
Yeah.
what I was saying before we chased that rabbit like crazy was,
Yeah.
we were talking about some of our favorite drummers and Nine Inch Nails drummers
Yes.
specifically.
Yes.
And we had gone through Josh Freese,
Josh Freese, Elon
Elon,
that's playing with him now.
and the one we can't freaking remember.
The dude that had the
Oh
like the
my
dark,
God.
like the long dark
Yes.
hair, skinny guy.
Well,
Always had like a bunch of like eyeliner on. He looked like
like
the Misfits logo.
yeah, what was his name?
I can't remember his
Danny
name.
keeps coming to mind, but that was the bass player.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I'm looking. Jerome Dillon.
Jerome, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah.
He was the one that was
the-
having heart issues.
weird. Yeah, I saw him on the With Teeth tour. Yeah, he was playing with them.
And yeah, we were out in L.A. I was telling you, and
Mhm.
it was the day before the show. I think they had to run him to the hospital. And
I wonder what was behind that. That's really weird.
Well, come on now.
Well,
That's-
I don't know his history of
I don't either. I'm not
substances,
gonna. I'm
or
not gonna say it's
if he just has
substance,
like a condition from birth or something.
but he had heart issues with. Let's see. It says here. Dylan was forced to stop midway through a show and was subsequently hospitalized. His condition was later diagnosed as a non-threatening cardiac disorder, a consequence of his thyroid medication. So
Weird. Okay.
that day, like, we didn't even know if we were going to get to see that Hollywood show, but I was telling you, like, Josh stepped up to bat. Josh Freese came in and was like, "All
Josh
right,
just happened
let's
to
go."
be in LA at the time.
Well, he lives out there, doesn't he?
I think he does, yeah. But I mean, he plays with so many people. Like, what are
Yeah.
the odds that he was actually off and not on the road with somebody?
Well, and
That guy's you look at his Wikipedia, like his rundown of all the bands that he's played with. It's crazy.
what's weird is, like, a guy like that just saying, "All right, I'm here, let's go."
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they did any rehearsal beforehand.
I would imagine they would, if it was the day before or something. I know Trent lives out there too, so
Yeah, they
surely
could've
he's
sat
got a
down.
complex that they rehearse at.
And I mean, Josh has done stuff with them before, but I was reading an interview that was Justin Middle Johnson was with them on that tour. Beck's bass player.
Yeah, big Afro dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was with them on that tour too, and he said that on one of the bass forums I was on, he was talking about how before that tour he had to learn 76 songs.
Damn. Yeah, that's a really cool thing about seeing them because Trent's really about. They change the set list up like every night, pretty much.
And
So they get about 80 songs down, and then we're gonna choose from these 80. They play what, maybe 25?
Yeah, it's been about from what I've been
27.
watching, it's 25 to 27.
Yeah.
And can you imagine 80?
Well, I
freaking
saw.
songs?
You see, they played "Perfect Drug" live for the first
Yeah.
time a couple weeks
That's
ago.
ridiculous.
It was fucking awesome too.
At
I
Red
was-
Rocks.
that little drum solo part. I was like, "Oh, Elon's gonna fucking rule on this part,"
And
then
he did.
He killed it. It was so good.
And it's been so like they're playing 2 nights pretty much every stop,
Yeah.
and it's been played 1 night at every city.
Oh, so they've been okay. Wow.
So I'm excited. That's one of the only songs I haven't seen,
Yeah.
and I really really am excited to see that. And I was like, there's no way they're ever going to play that live. There's no way.
Yeah. There's
And-
so much going on. It's such a weird song.
And they
But
spit it out. And
I
a lot
always
of people
dug
are
it.
like, come on, guys. It was just an iPod sitting there on stage,
Yeah.
and they were
Right.
airplaying to it.
Yeah. What was that? That was on a soundtrack, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Lost Highway soundtrack.
Lost Highway. That's right. Yeah, I remember seeing the video all the time on MTV and shit, and just always thought that song was really cool.
That whole ending is so badass on that song.
Yeah.
Just going nuts. But so a band like that
Mm-hmm.
and a drummer like Josh or Elon, they're hooked up with the best of the best to make their job super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have click tracks that change tempo,
Right.
it change signature, as they're going through, and their clicks are probably automated too, where they can get louder when they need them or drop them
Yeah.
down. Have you ever been in an environment like that?
I've never really played with a click in a live situation. I have played with some like backing tracks, like with Big Mike and stuff. Like when we play like Bob O'Reilly by The Who or something like that, he'll have that little organ intro stuff like on a track, and then it goes on throughout the whole song basically.
And
So
it can
it's like-
hypnotize you.
Yeah,
As
so
it's going through.
I just have to like crank it through the monitor really loud so I can hear it, and then you have to really just kind of pay attention to like stay locked in with it. And there's a few songs like that where we've done that, but other than that, I've never played with like live click. I don't think, not that I can remember, anyways. But a few things like that where usually with Big Mike we've done backing tracks for stuff like when we play Heart of Glass by Blondie. He's got a little backing track for that percussion in the little keyboard synth thing that you kind of have to lock in with and focus.
I was going to say, is it timed out right, or does he hit it does he trigger it, or do you trigger it?
He usually just has it on a iPod or something, and
And
he'll
you
have it. Yeah, he'll just say, "I'm gonna hit it." So, and there's some of them have like a 4 count at the beginning, but the Who thing, you just kind of have to know where, the piano comes in first, and then you just kind of follow. So it was fucking
Yes.
freaked me out the first time when he wanted to do it. I was like, "Dude, are you really?" I was like, and we didn't rehearse it or anything. I think we did it sound check or something. I was like, "Man, I don't know if it's gonna work," especially if there's booze involved and stuff. I was like, man, I'm going to have to really focus on this because no one else really needs to hear that organ part but me,
Yeah.
really, to play along. So it's just like, okay, so it's all on me. And if it's gotten off the rails a few times where it's like, shit. And then to find your way back, I think we had a full train wreck on it one time. We just had to stop like halfway through. And it's like, okay, there's no finding where we lost it. But most of the time, it's okay.
I think I've only seen one band completely lose it that has had like samples and entire backing tracks and click
Mhm.
with them. Cam FDM did it once at Deep Elm Live.
Mm-hmm.
They got off, I can't even remember what song it was, but they actually had to stop. And whoever, I think Will Rifflin was playing drums with them at that time, the old Ministry drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a laptop back there with Pro Tools on it. And he was like, stop. And they,
so
Sasha talked to the
embarrassing.
crowd and
Ugh.
was like, he made fun of it. And everybody's like, yeah, that's cool, And he's like, we're going to start this over. And they weren't that far into it. They were maybe halfway through the first verse, and everything was out. So they started back over. But I was like, so that's massive stoppage with a
I
big
saw-
touring band that's used to doing it.
One time when I saw Nine Inch Nails, it happened when they were, I think it was when they were doing the Slip tour, when they were playing is this song called is it called Echoes? It starts with
Echoplex with the
yeah,
touchscreen.
Echoplex. Yeah, the touchscreen thing.
I remember that. Yeah,
And he sequenced it wrong at the beginning, and he's like, hold on,
and erased it real
he
quick.
erased it all and started over. I was like, okay.
But I thought that was just Josh screwing around because
Was that shtick? Were they doing that every night on that tour? I don't know.
I don't know.
I only saw him that one night, but I thought that was like a real like accident that we all saw in person.
because that was the last time Josh was with them,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought I don't know.
See,
He played it off very well.
I didn't know if that touchscreen thing was like legit, and if it was really some kind of touchscreen
It
like
supposedly
808.
is.
Like, where do you even think of that idea?
So there's a.
I don't know if it was like a rehearsed thing and they just knew how to time it out right, or if he's actually doing it.
It was supposedly all touch.
That's really cool, then.
There's a Canadian company called the Motion Factory,
Mm-hmm.
I think is what they're called. And they went up there for months and designed that entire show. And that show was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
That was very Pink Floyd The Wall-esque with how many moving parts and stuff was going on.
The with teeth thing was like that too, because they had that little clear screen out in front of the stage, and all the lights would reflect off of it, and those vines that looked like they were growing out of the ground. And
Yeah.
that shit was crazy.
That was really, really crazy.
That I'd never seen it. That's probably the most amazing like lighting, besides like Radiohead and like Nine Inch Nails kind of battle each other to see who can do the crazier lighting tricks. And
And where does that shit go? Like, when they're done.
it goes
just-
into big 18-wheelers, man.
And, like,
They have like
when they're done,
five
completely
semis.
done with the tour, what do they...
Oh,
They break it all down and use it for something else?
I'm sure
or-
Trent's got a warehouse, like a fun house somewhere in LA where he keeps all that shit. And they probably rents it out to other bands and stuff, I would imagine.
Probably. And then, like, now, this tour is very plain Jane. It's back to basically like Downward Spiral era, where it's...
Like a big LCD screen in the back and just crazy strobes and smoke.
Strobe, smoke, and light.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
I like the simple, more...
Jeff Lord went with me down to Houston
Mhm.
to see the show, the Day for Night Festival, and it was that way. It was just stripped down. They took tape, VHS tape, and wrapped it around all the gear so it was swaying in the wind and stuff.
That's cool.
And that is the first time I haven't seen a show of them where they didn't play Head Like a Hole because it got rained out. They got
So they
cut
didn't get
off.
to actually finish, yeah.
Yeah,
They
it
always
got-
do like Head Like a Hole and Hurt, or like the last two usually.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird. I was like, huh, yeah, that was 23 shows, and I haven't seen
Wow.
the first one. I've never seen Head Like a Hole at.
I think my favorite from them is The Fragile. So
That's my favorite.
it's the best. My little brother got me into that record years back, and the first time I really sat down and listened to all of it, I was just like, whoa, this is some serious shit. I mean, it turns out if you know about, like, Trent was really in a bad, he was in the depths of his
Yeah.
fucking addiction problems at that time. So, but like, we're in this together, and Somewhat Damaged and all that stuff. The first time, that With Teeth show, that first time I saw him, they opened with Somewhat Damaged, and I was just like, yeah!
Yeah,
I couldn't believe they opened with that. And yeah, the whole show was fucking nuts.
that album right
I
there.
think Bauhaus opened that show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a good one.
At Starplex, that was
Mhm.
fun. That was that album right there is probably my favorite album ever, and it is. Every time I listen to it, you hear different stuff, and I've probably
Mhm.
listened to it 500 times. And then they re-released it on vinyl, and you start hearing other stuff.
I still haven't bought it on
More
vinyl
stuff.
because it's like $40, but it's worth it. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorites, and it's like I'm gonna have to pony up $40 and buy that.
Then he released another one that I think there's still a copy of Docs, so I better not say it. I think there's one copy, but there's one called Versions,
Mhm.
Fragile, the Versions,
Yeah,
and it's basically instrumental or different vocal takes on
weird.
some songs, and it's pretty cool. It's still the same track order. They do throw in some of the songs that were left out because that was a big deal.
Yeah, because he recorded like 80 songs or something for that, and I think there's like
He had to fly
It's a double
in
album, but I can't
someone-
remember how many.
I can't remember who the guy's name was, but he flew in someone from Interscope that he trusted to sit down. It wasn't Jimmy Levine, but he flew someone in that he trusted, and he's like, "Listen, I have all this. I don't know what order to put it in, or how to put it together, what needs to go, what doesn't." And supposedly that was like a 6-month process of figuring out
Going through all
what
that
songs
stuff.
go where,
Oh, that'd be so fun.
and to make them blend together.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun to go through all that stuff. I'd take that job.
Yeah. Just fly into
Go through your
a bunch of
archives.
bands and okay, let's see. What have you been recording for the last few years? Okay, let's make this work.
Yeah.
Just to be like, I mean, that's not a producer role. That's a
Yeah, that's a, I don't know what you call that job. It's like musical archaeology. Find the lost gems and all this hours of stuff I recorded, you know. If there's anything worth putting out, mark it and we'll put it out on something. Because the fan base is there, that people that are
They're gonna love it.
would buy that stuff. Yeah.
they're gonna love it. I mean, I'm not a fan of Hesitation Marks. I'm a huge
Oh,
Nine Inch
really?
Nails fan, but I'm not.
I really like that one too.
I like it more now. When it came out, I was like, "What is this?"
Mm-hmm.
It threw me for, total left-hand turn.
Is Pino Palladino still playing bass with them?
That's who's playing bass
He
right
was
now.
he was playing bass with them when after that Hesitation Marks record came out, which I thought was a weird gig for Pino to take because he plays with the Who, or he's been playing with the Who since John Entwistle died, and he played with John Mayer for a long time. He's played with a billion people too. He's just an amazing freak of the bass.
It doesn't show him on here live.
When I watched
For
that
this
live
tour.
video of the Perfect Drug, I couldn't really see who the bass player was, so I couldn't tell. There was too many weird lights going on.
So technically, by what this says, touring right now, Robin, Elon, and Alessandro,
Robin's the guitar player, right?
yeah, they all take turns playing bass at some point. Oh, and so does Trent.
Trent plays bass a little too.
Yeah, so they all play bass at some point.
So they're just doing straight 4-piece then?
Well, what the hell? Give me a call, yo. I'll just come in.
You're sitting right here.
I'm sitting right here. I'll take some stress off these guys.
You know all the songs already?
I do. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Huh? I didn't realize that because I thought he was. He was cool.
Yeah, he was a really I thought a weird choice, but when I saw like footage when they did their Austin City Limits after Hesitation Marks, Pino was playing with them. I was like, well, that's a really cool fit. I didn't really think that would work. Pino wearing like a black leather jacket with sunglasses on, looking cool as shit.
Yeah, he was just chill out.
And Trent like had like some backup singers and stuff on that tour too.
Yeah, they were.
It was like one of the girls that sang like a famous background singer.
Yeah, Lisa Fisher.
Yeah, Lisa. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in that 20 Feet from Stardom documentary. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a badass.
Yeah. It
What
was.
a-
That's the only time I think he's ever had like a female background singers like that.
If you could put together well, you probably have already,
Mm.
a Fort Worth version of Anybody You Wanted,
Oh man, like a super group situation.
like a super group situation, basically like Trent has done. Hey, I'm going on tour. I need you and you and you and you and you.
Oh man, the drummers would be really hard because there's a lot that I really have like loved over the years. My buddy Wyatt Adams, who was the original drummer in the Burning Hotels, was one of my favorite dudes that I nerded out on when they first started playing around. I really like fangirled out on him a lot. And was just
Why
like,
it's cool.
I'd never seen anybody play like that. And when he did the Ice Eater stuff, he just comes up with really super creative, just stuff I would never think of. He's just way opposite player than I am. So I think like him or like, I love Dugan Connors that plays with Oil Boom. He's a really great drummer. All those guys in Oil Boom, like they're all good for an all-star team. Steve Stewart's a great bass player. Ryan's a killer guitar player.
That is kind of an all-star team.
Yeah, they kind of are.
Pre-packaged.
Yeah,
Ready to go.
yeah. Shit, yeah, that's tough.
Put you on the spot.
My buddy Scott White plays bass with Duel now. He plays really good guitar as well. He plays guitar with the Foo, but
Which, if we leave now, we have time to go see him with Mets or
where's that show at?
at Dada.
Oh, it's at Dada. Damn, I thought it was in Fort Worth.
Yeah, it's over at Dada.
That's pretty sweet. I wish, I probably can't make that tonight, but Scott, if you listen, I hope you have a good show, buddy. I know he's fucking pumped about it.
He was.
Other bass players, like, I think Jake that plays the Vodio is really great. He's a really fun bass player. He comes up with really cool shit.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I really like watching him.
He's got some good dance moves. He got good stage moves. Shit. There's just so much good shit. Guitar player wise, I'm trying to think who is like my favorite right now. I really loved like Chance Morgan also from the Burning Hotels was a favorite guitar player of mine. The way he plays is insane.
It
Like
hurts
alone.
my head.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, and I've told him that.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
Literally taught himself just because his brother's right-handed, and he just take his brother's guitar, flip it over, and just learned how to play it upside down.
It hurts.
Really weird, yeah.
Really weird.
I've tried to do it,
like do upside down inverted chords and stuff.
Yeah, it's
and you're
really
like,
weird. But he gets this really cool attack from it because the little E strings on the top. It just like tonally, and him and Matt are playing together. It just had this really cool balance that you don't really get from anywhere. And
that really did help
yeah.
their sound by doing that.
Yeah. My buddy Sosa that played with Huffer and plays with the Foos, a killer bass player.
We don't need to brag about him anymore.
My dad taught how to play. I always have to say that. We went to high school together.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And my dad used to give him bass lessons like when he first started learning how to play. I think when he was like 14 or 15 maybe. He came over a couple days a week after school. My dad would show him how to play stuff, and then he ended up being just a natural at it, and he was pretty good from like the start. So he just kind of would come over with like, I want to learn these songs, show me how to play these. And my dad was like, okay. My dad's like a by ear kind of learning kind of dude. So he can listen to a song a few times and kind of pick it out. And yeah, now Sosa's a monster.
Sosa's badass.
Yeah, Che's badass. All those dudes are so good.
Yeah. Who's singing?
Singing.
And do you have backing vocals?
Ooh. Singing. I got to give Ainsley a big shout out. She's a great singer.
Her solo record is really cool.
Yeah.
I really, really like it.
She really freaked me out with some of that stuff. Like she sent me like just kind of demos. It was her and a keyboard. And when we went in to record it, I didn't really know what to do. I was like, okay, I know all these songs go, but we really just kind of fleshed it all out in there. And she really just sang her ass off on that stuff.
Did you record on every track?
5 of them.
There's
2. Yeah, 5 of them. I think there's 8 total.
Yeah.
5 I played on. I think there's 9 maybe.
I forgot.
I played on 5. Pete Marsh from War Party played on 2 of them. Joshua Ryan Jones played on the first song, Merely. Then there's one song that has no drums on it. It's like an acoustic song. That last song has no drums. But yeah.
Yeah, I really, really like that record. She did good.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty opposite from the Panic Volcanic world, which I dig. When I heard that stuff, I was like, oh, okay, you're going this way. This is really cool and different.
And see, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Was a little more, I guess, growly vocals, a little more intense, but...
We're working on some new stuff with her, too. She says we're trying to find a good middle ground between those two worlds, between like the Panic Volcanic and then the first solo record. Try to find a happy medium somewhere in the middle.
I think it's good to have 2 separate worlds.
I do too. I like that too.
You know,
she didn't think I would originally be interested in playing drums on it at first, and I was like, no, like I'm really into Coldplay and shit. Like I like to listen to chill shit too sometimes. So I was like, I don't want to make it too Coldplay-y. So like, slap me if I'm getting too softy with it, but.
Well, and it's
more challenging to play something like that than to just do what I normally do, which is just play like a jackass. So it takes more concentration, and like that exercise and restraint is a really cool thing. And Luther was saying that too, playing bass on it. He was like, after playing with the Hendersons, which is some crazy shit, like arrangement wise, and that shit's
going all over the place.
Yeah, that's nuts. So yeah, we both kind of wanted to be a part of that as to kind of keep us roped in a little bit. And to do that, because that's a challenge for both of us, I think, a little bit.
You don't get too out of control with Vodio, though.
No, Vodeo's that way too. That's
You're very
which is
chill and
another
relaxed.
reason that I wanted to take that on too, because that's definitely more groove based. There's not a lot of drum fills going on that stuff. It's mostly just holding the groove down with Jake on the bass, and there's a lot of moving parts, and a lot of singing. I'd sing a lot of backgrounds on that stuff too, and with Ansley. So you have to kind of chill out on one of them so you can focus on singing on key a little more and stuff like that. So
You ever have an issue with that?
sometimes,
Falling out?
yeah, I'm not still really comfortable with my singing at all.
Is
but
anybody ever? Unless you're Ansley
Yeah.
or,
maybe you're right. That's a good point.
Chance or Matt. I mean, no one's ever really.
Yeah,
If you're not a full forward front person,
yeah.
are you
I
ever
really
really
s-
comfortable?
I really started doing that with Big Mike and with Quaker City. That was kind of a deal with Quaker City, was we're all gonna sing, and I'm like, I'm not. You guys are really good singers. Like, I'm not. I don't think I should really sing with you guys. And they're like, no, dude, we've heard you sing. You can do it. I'm just like, well, okay. Just if I suck, just tell me, like, and I'll back off. But I kind of, through being forced to do that, I kind of got a little better at it over the years.
Was that your first introduction? Was with Quaker
Yeah. Well,
doing the playing drums and
it happened with Big
Doing
Mike
vocals?
first. Then that's all cover stuff, but it was
and that's stuff you've known
that stuff.
forever.
Yeah. So I'm really comfortable with most of that stuff. But with Quaker, yeah, that was my first time with like original stuff. In the bands I played in before, I didn't really sing at all. With Stella Rose, our bass player McKenna did all the singing, and with Jefferson Colby, I guess I may have sang a little bit with Jefferson Colby, but not. It was mostly just kind of screaming along on parts and shit like that.
And that you can always be comfortable with unless
Yeah.
you crack your voice while you're screaming. That's always
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you have you, since I've seen you with Vodeo,
Mhm.
you've always got the mic that you swing over and sing into. You ever used a headpiece, a headgear?
I had one, yeah. My dad got me one when I was younger, and I couldn't do it. It's just
Be all Phil Collins and
too in sync.
Yeah.
I was like, I look like Timberlake. But yeah, I can't do the headset mics, man. My dad did one for a while too, on stage, and I was like, Dad, you're not Garth Brooks, man. Come on, you can't.
and he's got the weird one.
Yeah, yeah,
Like Garth Brooks has the very very weird one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's very practical, but I can't do it.
When'd you start playing?
When I was 10, I tried guitar first when I was like in first grade, and my hands were too small, and I got frustrated, and I gave up. I was like, couldn't make a C chord because I was like 6 years old.
I was gonna say you're in first grade. You're not
Yeah.
gonna be able to
Well, I
reach
know.
around the neck.
I'm a very impatient person.
Oh,
so
I am too. I totally get it.
I was like, "Oh, fuck this. And then a few years later, my dad played everything. He played drums, and my dad was like the Phil Collins in a band where he was like the lead singer and the drummer in the 80s. So I would find, like I found like drumsticks around the house and stuff like that, and just kind of naturally just kind of started playing on my bed or on pillows or whatever along to, it was like Van Halen and stuff like that. And then he kind of caught me one time. He like walked in when I was playing on the bed, and I was like, I got really embarrassed, and he was like, "Hey, are you into the drums? I still have my drum kit, And I was like, "Oh, okay." And where is it? Why is it here? And he was like, "It's my buddy's house. He has a rehearsal space." And I was like, "Okay." So he gave me some homework, and we settled on a couple songs that I would learn. And he was like, "If you can learn them, I'll take you to the drum kit. If you can play them on the drum kit for real, then we'll bring the drums home." So he gave me a test, and it was, I remember Hotel California was one of them.
Jeez,
Just What I Needed by the Cars was one of them.
that's
And there's a couple other ones, but I remember I got those two pretty good. And I was like, okay, let's go. And he took me to the drums, and he just played those songs, like played the CDs through like the stereo, and I just played along with them.
so. Beforehand, before you went to the kit, what were you playing on?
Just boxes and like pots and pans and
So
stuff.
you're like this frying pan is my
Yeah,
ride.
I would
and this
use like
frying pan
I
is-
would use like the lid of a pot to like as a cymbal or whatever, and just pillow for the snare, and just kind of sit Indian style on my bed, and kind of with my fake drum kit that I made up. And I would show him like that I could, on that.
But what about kick? Were you moving your foot for a kick, or did you have that rudiment down?
Yeah, I would kind of sit at the end of the bed. It's kind of weird to describe. I would kind of put the pillows in my lap, and then I would sit on the bed with my feet hanging off and kind of just make the movements, for the hi-hat foot and the kick foot and that kind of stuff. And he was like, well, all right, let's go see what happens. And then I got through at least two of those. So passed the audition. We threw the drums in the truck, and he brought them home and never turned back.
That's tight.
That would have been 1992, 93, if I was around 9 or 10.
You still have that kit?
Yeah, it's still out at my dad's house. It's his old 77 Tama kit that he got from I think he got it from a friend of his. Yeah, but it's still there.
That's badass.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to his house, do you sit down and be like, oh,
Sometimes.
flashback? I gotta play through it.
That was like, I played that kit all the way through, like when my first real band, Stella Rose, started in like 2003, 2004. I was still playing that kit because that's all I had. And then,
Did you gig with it?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I gigged with it for like the first year or two of that band, and then I finally saved up enough money and bought my red Mapex kit that I still have that has the Empire symbol on it. And that was just it. Mapex, for that year, they put out these kits that were 24-inch kick and 16 and 18-inch 2 floor toms, 14-inch rack toms. They're just huge. They're all maple. Super, they sound great. And I saw them at Guitar Center one time, and it's like, okay, shit, I gotta get those. And I found a kit on eBay, that red kit, and it was just the shells only. And I was like, I already have hardware, so that's fine. $600, and I ended up skipping class to win that auction on eBay. I was like, worth skipping the class. I got it for $650.
I've done that.
Still play it all the time. Yeah.
That's awesome. Mapex makes some good stuff.
Yeah, they do.
The drummer I'm playing with in Drag the Ocean right now, he just bought an olive green Mapex kit, and it's big like that.
Yeah.
Everything's oversized, and it sounds really, really good.
Yeah, they make good stuff.
And they take a beating.
Yeah,
and will last
for sure.
You don't really hear much about them.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
it's like,
that's kind of strange. I think they're based out of. Are they based out of Nashville?
I think so.
I think a lot of country bands.
That's where I see them.
Yeah.
Is it country shows or with country bands, touring country bands?
I think that's where they're based out of. So that makes sense. But
and I guess that helps with the oversize too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, country stuff always sounds a little deeper drum wise, and
especially nowadays because it's so pop oriented. Yeah. They really fatten the drums up on that stuff.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the day to see a country drummer come through town with a Roland V drum set
with the full electronic.
Yeah.
And
then midway through they change the setting to a hip hop setting and just play along.
I'm sure that happens all the time.
I'm sure
man.
It does too. I'm sure there are touring country drummers that are triggered.
Well, yeah. A lot of those guys use triggers. Or I've seen guys that'll have real drum shells, but they'll hide the V drums. They'll build the V drum pads into like real drum shells. So
Seriously? I haven't seen that yet.
So they don't look like an electronic kit from the naked eye.
Afar.
Yeah, but I've seen bands do that too. Because they want the space of the drums, being taken up, but they don't want to show everybody that it's all.
That's the skeleton kit, basically.
Yeah.
But
yeah, a lot of guys use triggers now too, which I'm a fan of too. I think that's a really cool idea.
I've always liked triggers.
Yeah, me too.
I thought they were cool, and if you got a good head that puts out good sound, that's cool. The D drum stuff.
Yeah,
I was always a fan of.
The drummer for Phoenix is one of my favorite current drummers, and he does that. He uses just like a clear Vista Lite kit, but he's got triggers on everything, so that from song to song the drum tones change completely. So it's just like, holy shit, I didn't understand how he was doing that at first, and then I saw like an interview with him online. He was like, oh yeah, we have it all programmed. He's one of those dudes that plays with click to everything, and they have like so much backing tracks and crazy shit going on in their stuff.
They're here in a couple days.
Yeah, that's this week.
Yeah,
I think the 5th, right?
Yeah, I think
at
so.
Southside. I want to go to that show.
Yeah, I may go out there and shoot it. I'd like to see them. I saw them a few years ago at Edgefest, and they were pretty good.
Yeah, the drummer's name is what is his name? Thomas Headland.
I never gave him really any credit because I'd only heard that one song that was in commercials and everything. I can't remember what it
was. Was that probably 1901?
I think so.
Yeah, that whole record really. That one freaked me out. I really loved that. And then I saw them, I think, on Letterman they were on SNL around that when that record came out, and that drummer's just fucking nuts. Like to watch him play, and I can't believe he's playing to tracks, and he's super animated. Like he looks like a crazy person.
When I saw them, they came across really heavy.
Yeah, they are. They are more so live. Yeah,
it wasn't just a regular,
A lot of it's because of him too,
electro
because
band. But
he's,
yeah, he
he's
makes
such
it
a
heavy.
yeah he makes everybody else in the band just kind of get into it more, which I'm always a big fan of because I try to do that too. Yeah, he's great. The first time I saw them, I went to go see them in Houston, and it was like he didn't play that show. It turned out because I think his dad died, and he flew back to France.
And Josh Freese came in.
No, it wasn't Josh Freese. It was a similar thing though. The whoever opened for him, they just got the drummer from the opening band to play with them too, and I was like, damn,
That's kind of badass.
yeah, that is kind of badass. That
Hmm.
happened like what? Who else? There's a band that opened for Foo Fighters that did that when they got Dave to play with them. I forget what their name is. Well, whatever. Yeah, their drummer had like appendicitis or something. Had to get his appendix taken out on the road, and there's
I
like,
remember that story.
Dave, can you come play our stuff? And he's like, yeah, I already know y'all's whole record.
I don't remember who it was, but yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
one of those newer rock bands. Whatever.
I don't. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know a couple of their
Dave
songs.
is gonna
I can think
back
of.
us up.
Yeah.
Like,
If anybody can just hop into anything, it's that dude.
and he has.
Mm-hmm.
You look at his resume. I got sidetracked by that one day because I was just like, okay, we know.
He's played on a lot of stuff that he didn't really talk about. He played on like that Juliet and the Licks record with Juliet, and then
The Killing Joke
Killing
record,
Joke record, the Crooked Vultures record, obviously.
the Queens of the Stone Age, of course.
Queens, yeah. He played on
He pl-
had like half of Like Clockwork. He played drums on because that's
which
when,
is weird.
when Joey like got fired or quit or whatever.
Is that what the story was?
Mhm.
I didn't understand like what the story was with that.
I never really heard the full thing or read about it. Just they kind of kept quiet about it. Something I read from Josh was kind of along the lines of Joey wasn't really meshing in with the Clockwork stuff because it was kind of weird
It's
for
strange.
him. Yeah, it was kind of weirder. But Joey, I think his drums are on like 2 songs on there, and then whenever that didn't work out, he just called up Dave and like, hey, come in the studio with us, and then John Theodore played drums on 1 song on that record. But Dave played on like all the singles. I think Joey played on Sat by the Ocean, and I think Collapsia is Joey. And the first song, I think Keep Your Eyes Peeled is Joey. The rest is all Dave, and then Theodore played the last song on the record. That's the thing, right when they first got Theodore into the band. Because Dave was like, I'll come record with you, but I can't tour or anything, dude. Like, we got new Foo Fighters shit coming out, or whatever. And then they got Theodore, which is a perfect fit for them, too.
I saw them. They came through and they played House of Blues, Songs for the Deaf, and Dave was with them. And I wasn't expecting.
Oh,
that.
really?
I was not.
I didn't know they
expecting
played
that.
Texas when Dave was playing with them. Because they played Ridgely Theater on that, or around that time, too, but it was already when Joey started. Like 02, 03, somewhere in there, and they played Ridgely Theater.
See,
I
and I'm
tried to
trying
go,
think
but it was super sold out.
if it was House of Blues or the Bomb Factory, the old Bomb Factory,
Mhm.
the old
It may-
shitty Bomb Factory.
May have been the old shitty Bomb Factory.
It was one of those shows
back
because
then.
I know during Songs for the Deaf they came through like crazy. They
Mhm.
toured the hell out of that.
I
and they
saw him
came
on the
through, like, 3 or 4.
Lollapalooza in 03. That's when I first saw him, when Nick was still in the band and all that.
Which that's another one. They threw Nick out on the road.
He kind of forced himself out.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
kind of a maniac.
If you want to be technical about it, yes, he did.
Yeah, he punched his own girlfriend in the face or something.
Yeah.
Like when he was all coked out, and Josh was like, "All right, dude,
No, we're not having any of that.
can't handle that, man."
Have you listened to the Probot stuff?
Yeah, I
like that.
I got that vinyl a couple years ago too, because I found out they sell it on the Foo Fighters website.
Really?
For some reason, yeah.
I didn't even know
Scott
it was available.
Scott
on
from
vinyl.
the Foo told me about that. He's like, dude, go to the Foo Fighters store on their website. They sell a Probot on the LP on the website.
Guess what I'm buying right now?
Yeah, dude. They this was a couple years ago when I got
It's
it.
probably
but
not there anymore. It's
It
probably
might
gone.
be. It was like $20, but yeah, that record's really cool too.
I liked it, and that
I love the Dictatosaurus with I forget who played on that song. The King Diamond song is cool. The Secret song with Jack Black's really good. That first song with Kronos is really good. Lemmy, like there's so many badass people that played on
the
there.
Shake My Blood. That Cronus song is awesome.
Yeah,
Um.
the dude from Corrosion of Conformity sings on one.
Yeah, I was trying to break it down. Red War with Max.
Red War, yeah, is badass. That's with Max from Sepultura, right?
Sepultura, and then Big Sky with Tom G from Celtic Frost. It's
Yeah.
like all these guys on there are evil.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just all these evil vocalists.
It's the coolest.
But it's very, very
That
cool.
came out in what, like 03 or something like that?
Let's see,
I remember I was in college when that
I
came
think
out.
I think you're right. Let's see. February 10th, 04.
04, yep. That's
it
about
says.
right. Yeah, that's a really cool record. I was always hoped he would do another one, but he hasn't ruled it out. Someone asked him about that recently, and he was like, I'm doing so much other shit. I can't. I would love to do that, but I don't have enough time. But he just did put out a 23-minute song where he plays everything, which is an insane, ridiculous idea.
Yeah, where's your 23-minute song?
Well,
Come on.
I think now he's just trying. He just thinks of shit that he hasn't done. He's like, okay. He's bored when he's not on the road or whatever, so he just, all right, I'm gonna try this just to see if I can pull this off.
So they repressed it this year.
The Probot thing?
Yeah, it's a 2018 black repress. Is yours black or color?
It's black.
It is.
Yeah.
It's 2 discs,
Mm-hmm.
2 vinyls, $24.
Nice. Yep. They still got it on there.
Yep, it's still up here. Wow. Yep. Let me just add that to my cart right now. I used to order. My son's a huge Foo Fighters fan.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the things when he was like 4 or 5. He really got into.
4 or 5. Wow.
Yeah, I'd play him all sorts of music, and he was just like, no, no, no. It was Daft Punk and Foo Fighters.
Nice.
Is what he liked. And so there for a while, he would go to sleep listening to Foo Fighters. Like I made him a playlist that pretty much crossed every album, you know.
Yeah.
And he would go to sleep listening to it every night. And so I got on a kick of ordering him little kid T-shirts from the Foo Fighters store.
Oh yeah.
And a package would show up, and I'd be like, "Look what the Foo Fighters sent you! Holy crap! Let's see what."
Oh, that's a good dad trick right there.
And he's like, "What, huh?" And then he caught on. He's like, "Why are you ordering me all these shirts?" I was like, "What do you mean?
Nice.
What are you ordering?"
They just showed up here.
They just showed up. I don't know, but
Dave Grohl's just like rock and roll Santa.
Yeah.
He just sends you stuff. Yeah.
he doesn't wear. Well, he's too big for a bunch of the little ones now, and my wife is saving them to make a blanket or quilt or one of those T-shirt quilts.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, those are so cool. I've seen
They're kinda
a couple
tight.
friends of mine that have made those out of their old, like all their band shirts and stuff. That's a super cool idea.
I've thought about that because I got some shirts in there that are old
Mm-hmm.
that have holes in them. Like, well, I found out last night. A good friend of mine sent me a message saying that Hagfish is doing a reunion show
Yeah, I think they're playing at 3 Links, right?
at 3 Links,
Mm-hmm.
November 10th.
That would be cool.
And I have one of their original first shirts that they ever printed,
Really.
and it's silk screened, and it's got the Hagfish has a baseball bat. He just beat the shit out of Charlie the Tuna, and
Yeah.
it says on the back, it says, "We want tuna that tastes good, not tuna with good taste," or something like that. But it's got holes all in it, like someone
Yeah.
shot it with a shotgun. And it's so thin, like
Yeah.
you can almost see through it. I was like, "Can we make a blanket out of this?"
Parts of it, maybe. Yeah. I could make a local band T-shirt blanket at this point for sure.
Definitely,
I've got a good 20 or 30 local band shirts that I've acquired over the years.
it's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, I like that.
It's
I want to
pretty cool.
do like a DFW band shirt quilt.
Could you do one with everybody you've played with?
I think I have every Quaker City shirt that we ever put out when I was playing with them. So I have at least like 5 or 6 of those. I've got Vodio shirt. I've got a Stella Rose shirt. I've got, it'd be a small one. It'd be like a baby blanket I could make out of just bands I played with.
A little twin bed.
Yeah, yeah, just like for a crib.
Talking about Quaker City, and I know this video is 2 years old,
Mm-hmm.
but we've kind of talked about tour production and everything. But that video for Mockingbird
Oh yeah.
is badass.
Yeah, that was that was a buddy of I think Sam's.
Charlie Terrell.
Yeah, that did animation. That was they put that out after I'd already quit playing with them, so I didn't really get to see like the process of all that and how that all came to be. I guess he came up with the concept and all that himself and just kind of sent it into him. But yeah, that was really cool.
From what I saw, like he found an animator overseas to draw it all, but he had the vision and the concept and everything.
That's really badass.
But that dude's
yeah.
down in Austin,
Yeah.
and he plays with I forgot what it was. He's got a pretty badass band down there. And I cannot. It's something the Jones or the Morning Jones or the
Man, that was years ago.
the Murdering Johns.
The Murdering Johns.
Yeah. And but he runs a production company that does tour production
Really?
called Daddy Van. But he's done tour or video production for Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, no shit.
Bring the circle back around, but yeah. But he did. He had one of the companies that I've always wanted to do tour production. I thought that would be so badass to put visuals together,
Yeah.
and screens and stuff. And that's how I came across him. And then I saw he did that video. I was like, holy shit! I didn't know he did music videos too.
Yeah.
But
And animation and all that.
and all
that's
that.
That's super cool. So yeah, especially like with Nine Inch Nails and Radiohead and bands that really go over the top with production, where there's like there'll be 12 cameras on stage, like they'll have GoPros everywhere, and you have to have someone working the switcher to change all the cameras and all the lights themselves, and just they're all obviously synced to every song. Every song has a certain vibe and a certain color, and I love that kind of shit.
It's way badass. And when
Yeah.
you got like, there's
when local bands go out of their way to like have cool lights and stuff, I really respect that, because that takes a lot of fucking work.
or they hire. Well, the other night, my first time, I broke my virginity at Mass.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy Susie drugged me over there to see New Fumes, and I've been wanting to see New Fumes forever.
Yeah,
And I was just like,
they're one that do the crazy shit. Yeah.
oh my god, I'm in love.
Yeah.
And it was a spectacle. It was like you watch. It was a whole visual. Like just listening to the audio, you don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, the audio's good.
I remember seeing New
The
Fumes at
record's good.
the warehouse. We played a gig with him at the warehouse one time, and yeah, that was pretty fucking wild.
But I mean, it's just Brandon up there by himself, just going nuts. And
Yeah.
it was way cool. I was blown away. But when a band goes over the top and actually brings that's what I miss about like growing up in the '90s and going and see like Ugly Mustard and Course of Empire, and Brutal Juice never really did it. Tripping Daisy would do it when they would do crazy over the top
Polyphonic Spree
visuals.
still does.
Polyphonic does.
Yeah.
And which that falls back to the Tripping Daisy days. I mean, that was part of going to see a show, was you were getting a spectacle.
That's got to be Tim's.
Yeah.
That dude's space cadet.
He is.
Yeah.
But it's all genius. It's
Well, yeah,
all
it's
really, really
yeah,
cool
it's
stuff.
great. But I only got to talk to the dude one time. We opened for Polyphonic Spree with Quaker one time, and I actually like saw him backstage, and he was just kind of chilling by himself. And I was like, "Hey Tim, what was like? I've been, I was a big fan of Tripping Daisy and shit when I was a kid, and I talked to him for like maybe I don't know 10, 15 minutes, and he just went all over the place, like topic wise. I was like, okay, what? And like, what are we talking about?
I ran into him a couple times out in Hollywood.
Nice dude, but yeah, hard to keep on track, which
It,
is kind of how I want him to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was really weird because I was out there visiting my best friend, and I was out there for like a week and a half, and I'm walking through the Grove. My best friend worked at the Apple store there. He was the manager of the Apple store there, and
Nice.
I go walking in there, and Tim's there buying stuff. I'm like, what the hell? Well, I thought you lived in Dallas. What are you doing here? Oh, no, I'm spending time out here. And then it was off.
Yeah.
You were off to the races with him.
As far as where is this story gonna end?
And you always feel like you're one of his buddies. Like you're in his inner circle. You've been his buddy for years.
He's definitely got that southern hospitality. Like,
hey, you want to go grab something to eat?
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm going to the food court. Let's go get something to eat.
Yep.
And then like,
So were you guys good? Everything sound good on stage? Hope we didn't crowd you guys too much,
no.
Because they got like a 15-piece band with all the background singers and all
I
that
think
shit.
that's on a minimal night.
Yeah. We were playing at Club Dada with them, so yeah, I don't think they had the full thing on the outdoor, like the outside stage.
I was gonna say that inside stage.
And we had to set up in front of all of their shit. So I was like, are we gonna be even pull this off? There's only 4 of us, and there's like 18 of them. But yeah, it ended up working out, and it was super cool. He's a nice dude.
But it's bands like that bring the visuals.
Yeah.
That are way cool. And
There's a few local bands that go out. I remember Animal Spirit was a band that they had a buddy that knew how to do all that. He was like a lighting guy, and he would program on his laptop like to each song and sit in the back and control all these. Like he'd get there early, like hours early, and set all this shit up. And it's like, man, that's a lot of work for like a local gig. But when you get there and the show happens, it's like, oh, it really does add a big deal. And I remember I'll bring up the Burning Hotels a billion times because I love those guys so
I do
much.
too, and
But,
so you won't offend me with that.
They were one of the first ones that kind of I saw do DIY lights where they would get like just like fluorescent tubes and they make these little stands for them. They'd stand up and they'd each have foot switches so they would do the lights themselves with their feet while they're doing guitar pedals and shit. And they would certain times just turn them all on. And then they would all kind of hit them at different times, and they'd flash. And I was like, man, that's really cool. That's a cool idea. I've never seen anybody do their own lights like that on stage with their feet.
That blew my mind because I was like, how are they doing that? You're making a fluorescent tube light up like that?
Yeah.
And it's just standing there like.
He's like, yeah,
free air.
We just get these little foot switches, and they would just like Velcro them to their pedal board next to their tuner pedal or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that's really brilliant. I've never seen.
Pretty
I don't know where they got that
genius.
idea from. They're the first people I ever saw do it. Besides the Methinks with their smoke machine.
Yeah.
Which is legendary.
Legendary.
Uh-huh.
Legendary. Yeah, when you got something like that, it makes an impact, and I really wish more people I always bring this up, but one of the shows I'll never forget is seeing Ugly Mustard at Trees, and they put cellophane all along the front of the stage.
Okay.
And as they're playing, these blood cannons went off and shot blood at the screen towards the crowd, and then would explode.
It would splatter on the screen.
Splatter on the cellophane.
Cool.
And, they're getting dirty. They're getting nasty. Stuff's getting sprayed everywhere. As they're playing, you're hearing these pop, 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 because it's all CO2 powered, I guess. And then they'd walk up and wipe the screen off or wipe it, make it like they're trying to see through it and stuff. It was so badass.
That is cool, yeah. That's kind of like we're talking about the Nine Inch Nails when they had that little clear screen in front. Yeah.
And then they had like, it wasn't, I think it was a different show, but they had like 30 TVs that were all static on the stage.
Oh, that's cool too.
And this was back in the day when it was all CRT tube
yeah.
televisions, the big boxes. It wasn't flat panels, so you're like,
huh.
What the hell? And they just turn them on, and it was all turn it to a static channel and let it play.
That's pretty sweet.
And that screwed with you.
But I've seen another band do something like that where they had like 4 or 5 of those little combo VCR 13-inch TVs, and they would have different VHSs and each one of just crazy shit, and just have all those playing the whole time. That's a cool idea too. Anything like that.
Yeah. But that
there was some band. Yeah, the New Fumes guy. There was some band I saw too. Cool. I just remembered they set up at the front of the stage. They set up a TV and plugged in like a Nintendo into it, and just had like a couple people playing video games.
That's kind of genius.
While the band's playing, like they're just in a living room somewhere. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. They had like a couple chairs, a TV, and a Nintendo or whatever, and they're just playing video games while the show's going on.
That's kind of genius.
Yeah.
And funny.
I've never seen that before. I was like, are they playing Mario Kart over there?
Everybody lining up,
yeah.
Putting quarters on the machine. I'm next.
Yep. Methinks that also did where they had the bar on stage.
Which is genius.
Which is a great move. That was so
cool.
much
fun.
Never would have thought of something like that. A great idea.
Get
one of the bartenders from Lola's to work the onstage bar.
Yeah.
And just
so genius.
It's like, wow. What a fun idea.
Royal Sons are doing their release.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
26. Yeah.
26. And that's going to be insane.
I'm marking that day off. Yeah, I'm going to see that.
Yeah,
they're going to have some
must.
fire eaters and like acrobats and shit.
A hot rod show, and they're doing it at a badass venue.
Yeah, I've never been to this place, I don't think, but I looked it up. It looks like kind of like a Casa Manana kind of place where they do like children's plays and stuff.
They do children's plays. They
most
do
of the time.
Local community theater, I guess, in the theater itself. But then it's an art gallery.
Oh, they do it for art shows too. Okay.
They have a big art gallery through there that's all, well, I would say it's all local, but it's not, because I went to a Dolly exhibit there.
Oh, okay.
Rolled through years and years and years ago. But I had a friend got married there, and it's a pretty nice venue, especially for this.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's Johnny. He sent me a message. Was like, hey, this is going to be our release. What do you think? And I was like, that's baller.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're not doing it at a venue. You're doing it at a local
to make it
music venue.
really special.
You're setting up somewhere.
They're gonna have to bring in the PA and the
Everything.
lights and everything for that. Yeah, we know enough sound guy buddies. I'm sure Blake and one of those guys had got all that hooked up.
Yeah,
That's gonna be fun. I think I'm gonna get up there and bang some drums on a couple songs at
Are ya?
that show too. Yeah, Blake brought that up to me a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'll be there. I'll do that."
So you and Javier are gonna duel.
Yeah, I think I'm bringing some extra toms, and we're gonna caveman out on some
Nice.
stuff. Yeah,
Nice.
I haven't actually figured out what songs yet, but Blake's supposed to let me know sometime soon. But yeah, that's gonna be a really cool show. We got Dead Vinyl's playing, and
I forgot who the third one
I
is.
can't remember the whole lineup, but yeah.
Dead Vinyl is definitely on there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're done receiving awards now.
Crazy circus performers.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued about
Yeah.
this because this is another thing. This is an event.
That's the thing we looked into with Quaker City one time too, but I think the venue was too expensive for us. We wanted to do a show at the Masonic Temple, right off of like 30 and Henderson, right outside of downtown Fort Worth.
Yeah.
There's a big, beautiful Masonic temple,
It's
and
badass.
they have a big theater in there. And
Can you rent that? You can rent that out.
You can, but it
Whoa.
was expensive. It was like too expensive for us at the time. I remember we looked into it, and it's like, oh, that would be sweet, but we don't really have like $6,000 or whatever they were charging to rent it out.
I've always wanted to do a show inside the train depot.
Oh, yeah.
Downtown, where they have I know they have banquets and wedding receptions in it,
Mm-hmm.
but I've always wanted to do a show in there because that room's pretty grand, but it's got to echo like hell
Yeah.
because it's huge ceilings and it's all tile and
I remember Telegraph Canyon and the Orbans did a show at Casa Manana one year. I think it was a Telegraph Canyon CD release. They did it at Casa Manana, and that was pretty cool.
how much that is to rent out.
It didn't sound great in there. I remember there was like a lot of sound issues at the time. There was like a lot of feedback and weirdness, at least for like the first couple songs, and then they kind of figured it out by the end. But
Does the stage rotate in there? I forgot. I haven't been in there since I was a kid.
man, me neither. Well, since that show, no, it didn't rotate that night, but it may rotate.
I can't remember. For some reason, I remember going to plays like when I was a kid in
I
grade
remember going
school.
to Peter Pan and stuff like that.
And for some reason, I want to say the stage rotated, but I may be just thinking of
It pro-
Beastie Boys or
It
something.
probably does now.
I mean, why not?
It probably
That'd be
didn't
cool.
back in 1990 when I went there or whatever. But yeah, that's cool. There needs to be more stuff like that. But I know that's not something anybody can just pull off. There's a lot of money and a lot of moving parts that are involved with that.
Yeah, because I think when
You have to take care of all the ticket sales, I think, yourself, and so you have to like hire people to.
and you got to have security. You got to pay for security.
You got to get a liquor license in there and have someone cater with drinks and food and all that
And then-
stuff. If you're going to do
yeah.
all that,
That normally comes with a catering company.
Mhm.
They'll take care of that license, but yeah, they'll charge you out the wazoo for it.
right? It's like booking like a wedding reception or something like that. You know, that's a lot that goes into it. But if you sell the tickets for, I think they're what, 10 or 20. I think they're $20 a pop maybe at the door. I think if you
really?
buy them in advance, they're like 15 or.
I haven't
10.
even looked.
But I think they're $20 at the door, 15, something like that. So if you get enough people in there at 15, $20 a pop, hopefully you can pay off everybody. Not even just
yeah.
the cost of renting the place out, which is a lot in itself.
That train depot, I looked into it for our anniversary show, our first year anniversary show of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was before we were like, oh, shipping, receiving, Dutch, right around the corner. But I looked into that, and it was going to be like $4,000 for the night.
Mm.
And if we did it during the week, on like a Wednesday or Thursday, which, I mean, no one wants to do that, it was dramatically cheaper.
Right.
But
getting the amount of people to make that money worthwhile to come out on
Yeah.
a Wednesday is
Yeah.
rough. Yeah.
And you never know. And we were having, basically at the time, unheard of bands that were friends of ours, that had been on the show. They didn't have a huge following. They were just getting going. And so that was kind of the factor, too. Like, could we pull that many people? And it worked out great at shipping and receiving.
Yeah.
But
That's a really great spot.
then we looked at it for another show, and it was just like, no, we got to give up on that. But I'd love to do one in there.
Mm-hmm.
because it's very classy. You could class it up, and everybody
Yeah.
you're in a classy building, but here are the methinks.
Right. Yeah.
Being loud as hell, and it's echoing off all the walls, and
I love, yeah, it's especially
Just
that kind of
being nuts.
dichotomy of like, this place is too nice for this band to be playing in.
yeah, and then you have a crazy ass smoke machine that somebody in that building is going to be pissed
Just
off about.
need to like rent out a ballroom in the Worthington Hotel downtown or something like that. And just do a show there.
That would be great.
Like just at the Holiday Inn downtown, rent out one of the banquet halls there and do the CD release there. Have everybody crash at the hotel.
That would be great. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Now we have ideas.
Yeah.
Huh. When's the next Vodio release? We can put something together like that.
Yeah, I would like to do that. We're kind of we got a bunch of songs recorded. We're still trying to figure out how we're gonna put them out. Really, we kind of thought for a while we were just gonna put like a single out every couple months and try to make a video or something to kind of come along with it. We got a friend of ours that is working on she does animation, and she does a lot of really cool just like CG animation. And I hit her up a couple weeks ago and asked her, I was like, I have this song I think your kind of stuff would fit really well with, and she said yes, that she would do it. So we're waiting to see. I don't know how long it takes her to do her stuff, but I was like, we don't have a set date or anything, so just make what you want, and when you get done with it, let me see it, and we'll see.
So are y'all under the idea that y'all think it's better to release singles over a course of a time, like the whole Katy Perry model, or
Yeah,
do you like putting out or release all the singles, then put out a collection of all the singles type thing?
kind of put
I
out
like that.
put out the singles online or whatever, and then kind of put them on a CD to sell at gigs or whatever. Make kind of a collection of them, so you have something for like tangible to sell at the gigs or whatever. But yeah, we did a video for that. Hey, look, I'm a DJ, and that ended up being like a really cool experience, and kind of it's cool to kind of build some kind of hype or attention around that, and you got a video to go along with it. And I think if we just could keep that's videos are expensive though. It's the other part.
Yeah.
So you're kind of depending on the kindness of artistic, talented buddies that'll hopefully give you a buddy discount on that stuff. And I only know a few like animators and stuff like that.
That's chaotic to me.
Yeah.
I will shoot a music video
Mm-hmm.
anytime.
I thought about that idea too. Like we could just shoot it on our phones,
Yeah.
If you use enough cool practical effects and just kind of lighting tricks and stuff like that, you can do cool shit. Just shoot it on your phone.
I have an idea, and anybody can use this. I don't care. I'll give it away.
Okay.
But just having a video shoot and have everybody show up and shoot it on their phone and give the footage to the band.
Yeah.
Known in advance, and that's all your footage
Yeah.
is people with their phones partying or hanging out or whatever, all shooting the exact same subject, maybe wrapped around the band or something. And then you just, okay, well, now I've got all this footage, and I slice and dice.
I hate to burst your bubble,
Someone done it?
but Stone Temple Pilots did a thing like that.
I figured someone had.
On their their fourth record, they had a video where this was it was pre-iPhones, I guess, but they invited everybody to some theater in LA. Like, everybody bring a camcorder, bring whatever, recording device that you have. And they had everybody in the venue pretty much all filming the show. And then they told everybody just to leave their tapes or the discs, in the box as they walked out. So everybody left their shit in there. Then they had some editors come in and go through all the footage and piece it all together. So it's people shot from the balcony, shot from right up front, from side of the stage, just people crowd surfing with the camera on and shit. It's pretty cool. It's a cool idea for sure.
And some jackass had to have shown up with a $20,000 Steadicam rig.
Oh yeah, I'm
Look,
sure.
I just whipped this out
With the full shoulder rig and everything.
shoulder and everything. He's all strapped in there. And
Yeah,
let's go.
some professional cinematographer.
Yeah, I just have this sitting around the house. Let's do it.
I normally shoot weddings, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is way different. But yeah, with GoPros and phones now, I mean, you can get so much cool shit done.
If you limited it to just a format of phone,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you could get away with that. Like, we just want iPhones. It'd make it way easier. You wouldn't have to worry about converting anything.
Convert file types and stuff.
And then your color profiles would pretty much be pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could be like, okay, just iPhone, and then we'll have some drones come in there, and you have like 7 drones all flying around you.
Yeah,
and
and drones
they
too.
smack you around.
It's so easy now to like pull off amazing shit.
It really is.
Yeah.
Legally,
Right.
I mean,
well, even just like in TV shows and stuff, you like the amount of drone shots you see and stuff now is. I remember like Breaking Bad was one of those first like really popular shows that used like a drone shot.
Yeah.
And they like finally had a drone that you could fly a 1080p digital camera on it and get a cool shot from above Albuquerque or whatever, a couple 100 feet.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, that's pretty badass.
And
where you
tiny.
Normally you'd have to rent a big ass crane to get shots, or do helicopter shots or something like that.
A buddy of mine in Dallas, he built out one of the first commercial drones in Dallas, and he ended up dropping like, I think total the entire rig's around $45,000.
Fuck, that's a lot.
But he had to.
Damn.
I mean, each prop has its own motor. They all go to They all go into, and they're big. They're big props.
Mm-hmm.
But it had to be able to carry a DSLR. It had to carry his Canon 5D Mark II.
And those are pretty heavy.
Really heavy, and he wanted to put a wide-angle lens on it, which even more weight because you got a giant piece of glass on the front. So he had to build it to carry that around, and it's huge.
Yeah,
it's probably about the size of this octagon rug here, and I guess that's what 4.5, 5 foot.
How do you even transport the thing? Do you have to take it apart and put it together?
He takes apart a couple of the arms and puts it in his car, but it takes up the entire back.
Mm-hmm.
But he would fly it around, and you see it coming, and you're just like, oh my god, that thing's huge, and it could take someone's head off.
Yeah. And if you land it wrong, your camera rig is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had it all set up. It had a full motion gimbal for the 5D. That's why it cost so much, because at the time, no one was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Building out and actually programming it was a complete pain in the ass. But once he got it done, it was great. And he would go he'd go on safari with people and shoot stuff on safari. He went over to that Dallas Safari Club exhibit thing, hooked up with a bunch of people on the photography side of it, not the hunting side, but the photography side.
Yeah.
And they went out and, Nat Geo's used this stuff.
Yep, the Planet Earth series and all that stuff.
Like WFAA.
Flying over like lions and stuff in the wild. Yeah, that's really cool.
But he has this giant-ass rig where now I can shoot the exact same thing he does with my drone that'll fit my hand.
Yeah.
That's what's funny. And it's just as stable, just as clear, and...
it's just like a few years separated from each other.
I mean,
the technology is so fast that...
It's 4 years.
Wow.
It's 4 years difference.
Yeah.
Is when, I'd say almost 5. But yeah, that's the difference.
That's why they always say when a new technology comes out, give it a couple of years, and then it'll be cut in half for price, and then, and practicality and all that stuff.
It's pretty ridiculous how quick things change or get better.
The drone stuff and
smaller, tinier. And then DJI, who is the biggest drone manufacturer in the world, bought Hasselblad. So now all the cameras have their sensors in it or their lenses on it. So you're looking at a medium format style drone now.
That's brilliant.
So, yeah.
It's brilliant if you like making lots of money.
Yeah. It's not brilliant if you're on my end and have to spend a lot of money just to have something cool, because when you get hired by a client, they go, so what are you using? And you're like, oh, I'm just using this. Oh, we don't like that.
That's not enough.
That's not enough. We saw something new and shiny that you should be using. And you're just like, okay, well, I don't need you.
Yeah. Never mind.
And then, so you got the Matt Tedder stuff coming up too.
Yeah, we recorded a whole new record of stuff. I'm not sure how many songs are going to be on it. I think we recorded 10 or 12. It was a long time ago now.
That guy blows my mind.
Yeah, he's really good. He's 23 years old now.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
When you go see him play, and that, if you don't know it, because I didn't know, the first time I saw him was at a So Far show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Over in Southside.
Mm-hmm.
And I was blown away, and I was like, that guy looks pretty young. And then it's like this had to have been 2 years ago, maybe earlier. I don't think he could drink yet.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what?
Um,
That's coming out of him?
We played at Lola's on his 21st birthday. I remember that a couple years ago. Then he opened for Quaker years back when he was like 17. He like opened solo. And that's like the first time I remember really like talking to him.
That's ridiculous.
After the show, yeah, I was like, dude, that was really badass. And then he moved to Nashville for a couple of years. He graduated from high school like early, and then moved to Nashville for a couple of years and did that whole thing where he was playing out. And then he was on The Voice for a little bit that year. Then he kind of came back to Texas when he was 19 or 20. Kind of, I guess the Nashville thing, he just kind of was like, done with that. And then when he came back, he hit me up and was like, hey, I have these songs I want to record. And we did them like in a day. And just, it was
That's nice.
super easy, yeah. And then we did the new stuff at Taylor Tatch's place where we did the Vodio stuff and the Ainsley stuff. And a lot of people are doing their stuff with Taylor.
Have you bought property down there yet?
Oh, I wish I could, man. Dan, his place is so gorgeous. Like every time we're out there, it's just like a cool mini vacation on top of just getting to live in that studio because he's got a loft in there with beds and a full bathroom with a shower and everything. So you can live in there. And when went down there for Tedder, we stayed for a whole week. We went Monday through Friday, and got all the tracks done. I think we got everything tracked by that Friday. I think the drums and bass were done by like Wednesday, and then he did all the guitars and vocals and stuff the other 2 days. Then we got the masters back maybe a month ago now, so it's ready to go. We haven't really decided on a title. We're still tooling around with a name for the band. If we still just want to be Matt Tedder, or if we want to finding a fucking band name is like impossible.
Yeah, it's
So
ridiculous.
every time we think of something, we text it all to each other, and it's like, one guy will be really into it, and it's like, I don't know about that.
You do the sleep on it trick?
Yeah.
Okay, let me sleep on it. Let me
I've
see
got
in the morning. And
I've got a folder in my notes on the phone where it's like every time I think of something, I'll just write it in there. And then every time we're hanging out, I'm like, all right, I thought of these. Like, if you like any of these.
that might be the worst thing of creating a new band.
Yeah.
Is coming up with a band name. Unless it's something that, like...
I've never been a part of naming the band.
Ever?
No.
Oh.
Stella Rose was the guitar player's idea. Jefferson Colby was my brother's idea. Sam had thought of Quaker City Nighthawks. Like, he had the band name before the band even started. When he pitched me the idea for the band, he was like, okay, the band's going to be called Quaker City Nighthawks. You and Pat are going to be in it, and Dave and me. I was like, okay, that sounds cool. I like that band name. I'll be in that band. I was like, what are we going to sound like? And then he was like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. And I was like, okay, cool. Vodio, they already had that name, and they had already changed their name from Shake the Moon before that.
Where did Vodio come from? That's a genius name.
It's
a made-up word, right?
Yeah, I have asked them, and they was like, I don't know. It just kind of, one of them, it just popped out, and it stuck.
And that's the way to do it, is to make up a word.
Yeah.
Because then you own everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about nothing. You
Right.
own the domain. You own, all the social media.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about conflicting with anything.
I haven't Googled Vodio to see if there's any other things that come up. It could be could be a word in another language or something. I don't know.
Let's see here. It's funny. I have Google
I think
open.
Jake told me there's something weird that comes up.
It's all, well, the first thing is, did you mean video? No, I did not.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
But everything has to do with them. Or you guys.
Oh, that's cool.
Everything on the front page, which is good. So
that's good.
Your SEO is hitting good.
All right, good.
Yeah, everything, it's all y'all.
I told him, I think I said to John one time we should call the next EP, Did You Mean Video?
That's kind of funny. That's pretty genius.
Because that's the first thing that comes up too every time.
Did
It'd
you
just be
mean
really
video?
confusing if you tried to Google that. It's like, that may be too much confusion for the bit.
Did you mean video? Let's see what comes up. Well, video, did you mean video?
Yeah.
Is what it's showing results. And then Justin Bieber, what do you mean, comes up.
Oh, yeah.
That's the very first thing, is like the
Bieber hit?
The Bieber hit, so.
All right.
Yeah, I'm naming, like this podcast, the Jerry Johnson Massacre, we had this name years before, and I bought the domain immediately.
It's a good name.
It was when the practice facility collapsed.
All right. Yeah.
over there in Valley Ranch.
Yeah.
And Matt Stubbs, we were texting back and forth about it because he's like, "Did you see what's going on? Oh my God, it's a Jerry Jonestown massacre over there." And I was like, "Bing, boom, genius!" And I was over at my sister and brother-in-law's house, and I was like, "Hey, I need to borrow your computer real quick."
You just bought the domain
And
right
I
then?
bought the domain right there. I was
Had you
like,
heard of the
"Done."
band, the Brian Jonestown Massacre yet?
I
I
had
didn't
heard
know
of
if,
them.
I don't know if it
listened-
was a nod to that or if it was a full Cowboys thing or if it was a little both.
It was a little bit of more the Cowboys and the tragedy
Yeah.
than the Brian. But I had heard of the Brian. In fact, I had seen them a few times. And
I saw them at Granada once. It was cool. A good show.
yeah.
I was kind of
They're pretty
surprised at how good it was.
And I think shortly after that was when Empire came out. They had the title track to Boardwalk Empire on
yeah.
HBO.
Yeah, that is
shot them through the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. You get that Scorsese money.
Yep. And so we had it sitting around, and then we started talking about it. It was going to be, we joked about it being a country blast beat glitch band. We were going to try to make it as insane as we could.
Yeah. Why not?
When the podcast idea came around, I was like, okay, so I have this domain I've been sitting on. What about this? And at the time, it was 3 of us, and they were all like, yes, let's
Perfect.
do it.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
But that is the worst thing, is naming a band. Naming any band I've been in has been a
Yeah.
cluster.
Yeah. Oh, I did come up with Big Mike's Box of Rock. That was my idea.
That's a good
That's the
idea.
only one I've named. And that's just because he had a pedal on his pedal board called the Box of Rock. And I just kind of I never heard of that pedal before. But I was like, and I was like, it just kind of flowed really good. And I texted him. I was like, what if we call it this? And he was like, all right, I'm in.
See that there's I guess a urban legend or wives tale about that, because that's what I always thought it was
Mhm.
was the pedal, because I remember
Yeah.
seeing pictures of the pedal
Yeah.
like on flyers and stuff.
And he has 2 of them on his pedal board. And he has a good reason for it. I can't remember why. He uses one as like a solo boost, and one is kind of just like a mid dirty boost kind of thing. They have separate purposes, or he uses them together sometimes in different ways. But I thought it was weird that he had 2 of them. And I was like, what's the point of that? And he explained. I was like, oh, that's insane, but okay. And then that it was kind of stuck, and he really wanted to start calling the band something we were playing all the time. And then it just kind of came out, and it's been that.
The other theory was that it was the box of songs,
Yeah,
just pulling out
There's
random
that.
songs to play. That was the other
the repertoire, the box is big for sure. Mike has a master list of all the songs we've done over the years, and I think it's like between 500 and 600 songs, something like that.
That's insane.
So we pull off that list whenever we're making set lists, and some of those songs we haven't played in 8 years or whatever. It's like, well, we played that one time at the Moon Bar in 2006 or something, and it's like, oh shit.
Have you played all those
Yeah,
400 to 600 songs or something like that?
yeah. Over since when did we start that? Like in 06 or 07, something like that, when we started the band.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and we were playing every week, for years. We still have been.
Well, I know when I've seen him, there's
They're
a
3 sets, at least 10, 12 songs a set. And then you
That
think
makes sense,
every
yeah.
week for 10 years now or whatever. That's a lot of songs.
That's a lot of songs.
And then we were getting really, once we got the full lineup in and Justin Pate on keyboards and all that, that really opened up a lot more choices of stuff we could do. Plus, Pate can sing. And now we have Chris Holt that plays with us too at a lot of the gigs, who's a super talented dude, plays with Don Henley.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's another great singer too. So the vocals get split up between Mike, Justin, and Chris, the lead vocals. So we get a lot more shit that we can pull off. And Chris is a second really good guitar player on top of it too. So him and Mike trade off who does rhythm, who does lead, and whatever. So we played a wedding a few weeks ago, and it was super fun. There's so much shit you can just throw out, We played Highway to Hell at a wedding reception, and it brought the fucking house down.
That's nice.
It was awesome.
That's awesome.
I was like, Mike, he's like, start with Highway to Hell. I was like, really? It was kind of a younger crowd, it was like it was college kids, they're getting married, and I was like, I don't know, man. But we started kicking into it, and everybody lost their shit, and dance floor packed, and it was
Was that
really cool.
requested at all, like by the bride or groom?
I don't remember
Like,
how. I think Mike just kind of picked, good. he separated the set list into like up tempo, mid tempo, and like slow songs. So we would kind of just pick from the fast list, the mid tempo, judging the vibe in the room and whatever. And he wanted to start that last set with an up tempo one. And he was like, I was like, I don't know, man. We can go for it, see what happens.
And it went crazy.
Yeah, it worked. It was really that was like crazy how all the college kids actually knew what that song was. And we threw out Africa and all that kind of shit like you have to at wedding receptions. Sweet Home Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've shot a lot of weddings, and I've never heard either of those at a
Really?
wedding reception. It was always, well, you always have the stupid songs. The Cupid Shuffle.
Oh, those got to be outlawed.
They do. They need to be. The chicken dance.
If
they need to be
you're getting
shot.
married, no chicken dance.
No Cupid Shuffle.
No Cupid Shuffle.
Whatever that other line song is, the line dance song that's...
Take it back now, y'all. That one.
That one.
I forget that one's called. But yeah, no, that one's over.
Girls beat me.
Over.
And they should never be played at a bar or club ever.
Yep, I agree.
Never. They should never be played.
But every bar now has those fucking internet jukeboxes that people can play shit from their phone.
Yeah.
Even if
That's
they're not
aggravating.
at the bar.
Yeah.
Which is the worst.
Or great.
Depending on their taste, yeah.
Oh, where y'all going tonight? Oh, yeah, I don't feel like I can't go tonight, but I'm going to make y'all a little set list while you're there.
Yeah. I've been that guy that's put on, 2112 at the chat room and just watch people suffer through. Oh, this song's 23 minutes long, so buckle up.
Or Trees.
Or the
that
Trees.
Song, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh. Because that song's just a beating to me all the way through. I mean,
That's
it's
one of my faves, yeah.
Trees is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just beats me.
That was
It makes me crazy.
my first really big show I ever saw was Rush when I was like in 6th grade. And they played the Trees at that gig, and that version from the show I was at was on a live album that they put out. And I was like reading the liner notes, and it's like the Trees was recorded at Coca-Cola Starplex, Dallas, Texas, 1997. I was like, holy shit, that's the show I was at. I was like, so I've always kind of really had a
That's
weird,
kind of badass.
I like that connection to that song. And they played the whole 2112 song for the encore at that show too. So the whole encore was the 20-minute, the whole song.
That's a hell of an encore.
Pretty sweet, yeah.
That is pretty badass. Huh. Yeah, I love Rush. I like them. I mean, no problem. It's just that
they have
one
shit.
song.
They have some shit in there too that's a little too wild for me. But
yeah,
the Farewell to Kings and there's a few of them that are a little too nuts.
When they kind of started feeling like, oh, we're gonna see what's King Crimson doing. Let's kind of let's kind of copy off their palette a little bit.
Yeah, and then
they get a little
Hemispheres is when they got really nuts. That was kind of like the last one, and then
I never really got into that one.
Yeah,
and I remember listening
La
to
Via
it,
Strangiato is on that one, and that's like La Via Strangiato is like a drummer like test. I remember all my buddies like in high school. If you were a drummer, that would be one. They're like, "Can you play La Via Strangiato?" And I was like, "I could."
Do I want to?
When I was in my heavy Rush phase, when I was like 14, like 13, I could pull that off. But I was like, man, I don't think I could. It's like 12 minutes long, pretty, and it's completely insane.
So that's another band. You think he plays with a click?
Neil?
Yeah. Or you think he feels it?
I don't think he. There's a few songs I know where he'll like wear headphones because I think there's a few of them where there's actual like synth backing tracks and stuff. But usually they would all pull it off live, especially if you listen to their old like live albums. His tempo is all over the fucking place.
That is true. You're right on that.
He got way better at that as he got older, but like on the first like Exit Stage Left and those few live records from the 70s, his fucking tempo was nuts. Which it was weird as from being such a monster drummer that he had weird tempo issues.
I totally remember that now that you say that the live albums are all over the place.
Yeah.
The early stuff too. Huh.
Which I kind of dig in a certain aspect because it's like, oh, he's not just a robot. He is fallible. But yeah, especially like when he goes into crazy big long drum fills and stuff, you kind of lose it, and then they would always find their way back together though because they're so good.
And
and they played so much, those guys toured forever.
Bands back then, well, I mean, They're still around, or they're not around anymore. They stopped touring.
No bands play as much as those guys did.
No.
Like Zeppelin and Rush, and like Zeppelin at their height, they said they were playing like 320 shows a year.
That's insane.
They would get a couple weeks off for Christmas and then maybe like a week
It was
off
a
here or
job.
there. Like they were playing, like 5 to 6 nights a week. They would play,
They're no click.
7 nights a week sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's like
7
no band
nights.
plays every night like that anymore.
No one.
Especially on that level, playing arenas for like 7 nights in a row, like straight. Bands like Zeppelin in '75 would do like 3 nights in Fort Worth and 4 nights in Dallas. Like,
And the Stones, same thing.
mm-hmm. Yeah, a
They-
lot of those
they
big
went
bands would
nuts.
do that kind of shit. Metallica would do that shit early on, and it's
But
like only bands that now that'll do stuff like that is like Taylor Swift and big pop acts will play the same night or the same city twice or something.
But they only
like that.
do it in like a 2-month spurt.
Yeah, or like
Or
Pearl
2
Jam will
months,
play
yeah.
2 nights at Fenway or something like that. Like really big bands are the only like Taylor Swift's. I guess what she's playing soon too, right?
Yeah, she's coming
playing
out there.
Jerry World, I think. She's doing 2
2
nights
nights,
in a
yeah.
row.
2 nights at that place.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
she's like her and like I guess like I think Jay-Z and Beyonce didn't even do 2 nights. They just
yeah,
did
they
one,
just came
didn't they?
through.
That's only the acts like Justin Timberlake and like that can play places that big.
That's just crazy
Yeah,
to think about. Like, Taylor Swift, 2 nights. She can pull that. She can.
mm-hmm.
And the radius clause for AT&T Stadium is huge.
Yeah, I wonder what. Do you know what it is?
It covers the entire state, and
Yeah.
it goes up to Oklahoma City.
For and how many days?
The days I'm not sure,
Mm.
but I know that it's you can't
It's
do
huge.
anything
So you-
within.
No Oklahoma, no casino gigs, no.
Mm-mm. It's the entire state, and I know the only band I know that has broken that is U2, but they did it. They didn't do it back-to-back nights. They did it. Came through, played here, and then wrapped around the rest of the country and came back into Oklahoma City. I think that's the way it went, or vice versa. They did
It
Oklahoma
was
City,
still
wrapped around, and
it
came
was
back.
still within the days from
Yeah, and it still worked out. But that's a band that plays 2 shows, flies home.
right.
And their stage was so massive that it took forever to set up at the next stop.
I wanted to go to that Joshua Tree show so bad. I'm mad that I didn't go.
I'm kind of mad I didn't either, but I've gotten to the point I've seen shows out there and they suck.
Yeah,
It sounds terrible.
I was at the Stones gig that was out there. We got nosebleeds. Me and my older brother went to that.
Where everything is bouncing, sound is bouncing
Yeah.
off everything.
And I saw McCartney there.
How was that?
We did the what are they called? The party passes, like the standing room only when you're like in the opposite end zone.
Yeah.
That ended up being pretty cool. It sounded good right there, I thought. And plus Paul has the big screens and everything, and
Yeah,
it's
you
pretty
see.
theatrical, so it sounded good and it looked good. The Stones thing, we were kind of like 50-yard line, but super upper deck nosebleeds.
If you're low, you're good.
Yeah.
I sat.
When we were down there for McCartney, it sounded good, I thought.
The first show I went to was the U2 Muse show where they had the freaking skill crane, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That stage set up. I guess they call it the UFO or whatever, but it looks
Yeah.
like a crane to pick people up. We set up high and it was terrible, and I couldn't take it. I had to get up. Like, I love Muse,
Yeah.
and I was like, this isn't. I can't handle this. This doesn't
Just
sound
like
good.
the sound of the room, yeah.
The sound of the room
It's
is
so,
terrible.
It's so boomy.
And they didn't have any of the curtains up or anything that they
Mhm.
instituted later. And then
I wonder if having the roof open or closed makes it any kind of a difference.
I wonder about that too.
I feel like for the McCartney show that the roof was open.
And I don't think I've been out there for an open roof show. For the games, it makes a whole hell of a difference.
Yeah.
Because during the game, walking the sideline, when the roof is closed, that sound is coming down on you, and it like hurts. Like
Mm-hmm.
when the Cowboys do something good, everybody just yelling down there on the field like they touchdown or whatever. It is loud. It
Yeah.
hurts. But when the roof is open, all that sound goes out.
Hmm.
It's nowhere near as loud. But then when we went back for I guess the last show I went to I've seen 3 shows out there. I don't remember what the third one was, but I went out for Guns N' Roses.
Oh, yeah.
and we sat low, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, Big Mike was at that show too. He
I,
said
I
the
loved
same.
it. It sounded really, really good. The only
The
thing
party
was,
pass thing from McCartney was cool because those tickets are like $40.
Yeah.
and it's like you don't have a seat, but it's like he was in the Beatles. I'm not going to sit down at this show anyway.
yeah,
And yeah, I think the roof was open for that one, so that probably helped.
and you can
'Cause
get around
He has pyro and stuff.
with the party pass. You can get around because there's different places you can stand too. As
Yeah,
long as there's not a
there's a
bunch
few
of people around.
Yeah, there's a few different little patios that they have open.
and that's really cool. The Metallica show, I guess it was open, and I have a friend. She's a photographer that went and shot it, and they actually didn't allow media to stay. Or the photographers to stay. Normally, if you go shoot a show, you can stay and hang out and watch the show. They didn't allow them. She had to buy a ticket, and
Weird.
they told them, you can buy a ticket, a floor ticket, and hang out if you want, and they're this much, and they were nowhere near face value.
Yeah.
But so after she shot, she had to buy a ticket and hang out. And she said it sounded absolutely amazing down there.
Yeah, but if you're that close, it would. I saw them at the old Texas Stadium, Metallica, in like 2000, 2001, something like that.
Did you actually see them?
Yeah.
Oh wait, 2001 would have been with Guns N' Roses.
No, that was with it was with Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park.
So that's the
and-
night Hetfield hurt his back and everybody filled in singing.
No, that wasn't that one. That was a
Okay.
different thing. That was around that same time, but I think this was 2000.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
they did a couple of summer sanitariums where they came through.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. And Limp
Yeah.
Bizkit
was
was on a different one.
It was Mudvayne, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park,
right.
and Deftones.
That's
Metallica,
right. Yeah.
And it was like, yeah.
Went to that one. It was the year either before or after with Power Man, Korn, Kid Rock,
Kid Rock.
and System of a Down, and them. That's
Mhm.
the one where he hurt his back. But yeah, that was. I've
Well,
always
Metallica.
liked seeing them.
That was the only time I've seen them, but it was really good.
They did a 2-night stint at Tarrant County. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, they made a DVD of that too.
Yeah.
At Cunning Stunts.
Yeah,
Live DVD. Yeah, I have that one for sure.
that one was.
I know a
fun.
lot of people that were there, but yeah, I was too young.
So as a drummer, what do you think of Lars?
I really like Lars. I'm a Lars defender.
You are.
Yeah, people talk shit about that guy, and I've never really understood why. He's kind of a jackass sometimes.
What about his playing?
I like his playing.
You do?
Yeah.
It's easy. I mean, everybody's like,
Some
I
of-
know growing up it was always like, can you play the rhythm of one? The end and the breakdown where
Right.
everything breaks out. Can you do
The
that?
double kick shit.
The double kick and everything. And
stuff
now I'm like, well, that's easy.
The
That's
stuff
no
he
big
does
deal.
on like Ride the Lightning and those earlier records and like Justice for All, that's super like with his feet. I don't know how he ever or anybody does that. I've tried. I don't know how they do like footwork that fast with a double kick. I've never been able. My big Lars phase was like 7th grade, like 90s, 96, 97. I had a big Metallica phase, and I bought a double kick pedal, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking figure this out. And I drove myself nuts. Like I figured out how to do like one.
Yeah.
I could do that, but I really tried to do like the really super fast shit. And I can't do it. Just my left foot just doesn't work.
There's some stuff like Blackened.
Yeah,
I'm
Blackened
just
is
like,
Blackened is
holy
a good
shit,
example.
That's kind of badass.
That's the super fast double kick stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
the Fight Fire with Fire.
Mhm.
That always blew my mind.
Mm-hmm. I've always loved his
How tight he
his
is in
weird
battery.
style. Yeah, his choices are really odd,
Yeah.
which I like.
And I remember like the first time I saw them and get into him and watching him just clasp the hell out of cymbals all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just chop, 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 chop.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, I've never seen anybody do it to
Yeah.
that extreme.
That's a large trick that I use a lot. Yeah.
And it's really,
A lot of his
That's cool.
tricks, yeah. The standing up and
Yeah.
hitting cymbals like while you're standing up. I stole that trick a lot. Yeah.
getting bored, getting up and walking around.
Yeah.
Walking around the kit and
walking
playing.
around the kit. Yeah, during breaks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Like he's one of the only guys I ever saw that would get up from behind the kit or like would stand up and do stuff like that and be really animated. And I used to watch that S&M live DVD
Oh, yeah.
with the orchestra. I used to watch that like every day because the DVD had like when DVDs were really pimping out all the weird features where you could set the camera angle.
Yeah.
And on that one, there was like a couple songs where you could just have it be on Lars the whole time. And I would watch that and just kind of like study all of his weird moves. Like, okay, now I can see how he's doing that. All right. And like I liked all their shit. I liked Load and Reload a lot too, and all that other stuff.
I kind of, there's some stuff on there that I like.
Some of their I think some of their best songs are on those records too, but they never get the credit because everyone shit on those records so much.
Yeah, each song or the last song on each of those albums I love. Outlaw Thorn. And I think it's Fixer is the last one.
Fixer with 3 X's. Fixer.
Yeah, I think that's the last song.
I loved 2x4 and Hero of the Day. I thought it was a great song.
King Nothing. That comes on the radio. I'll jam it.
I thought Until It Sleeps was cool.
I didn't like that.
I like Fuel was cool. Fuel's like the only one that they still play.
Which when they did the Tarrant County show, Reload wasn't out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but they're they previewed. James was all like, "Here's the song. We're gonna preview. It's on our next album, Reload," and it was Fuel. And at the time, all the lyrics were about shooting heroin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard the version with different lyrics.
And like, if you watch the cunning stunts, he's actually like mimicking shooting up his arm and stuff through the song, and you're like, "Whoa!"
He was never into H, was he?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just all
just a Jaeger,
ploy,
just a drunk.
Yeah. Well, Master of Puppets, cocaine. Was he into cocaine?
Yeah, I guess chop your breakfast on a mirror.
Yeah,
probably.
But yeah, but it was kind of funny, and then the song comes out, and you're like, "Oh, this is a song about motorsports."
Yeah. He made it about cars.
Made it about cars. But I've always said that Saint Anger, if another band would have put that out, people would have been like, "This is genius."
I think if they would have recorded it differently, is that fucking snare drum sound, which I don't know how they got that through everybody. Well, I guess because it's Lars, and he's just like, this is how it's going to sound.
Did they get that through Rick Rubin?
I don't know.
How did Rick Rubin allow that to happen?
I'm sure Rick was like, this is fucked. Like, how are you doing this? And then Lars was like, no, man. We're going for a whole new sound. And it's like, well, this sound is bad, but there's some good songs on that record. I kind of defend that record too, because I really like the last song on that record too. I can't remember what the song's where he yells "kill" like 500 times at the end. Kill, kill, kill. It's like, yeah. And I liked the Saint Anger, the song, and there's a few good jams on there.
I haven't listened to it in forever.
Yeah, me
I might
neither.
have to listen to that tomorrow, but yeah,
I give them credit for at least like trying to do something off the wall, different.
I swear, if some
with
up
Load
and
and
coming, like
yeah,
band out of nowhere that we were garage band that we went and we recorded this album, and we're trying to put it out there for the world to see.
Mm-hmm.
Writers and critics would have been like, "Man, this is genius.
Yeah,
this is cool."
If it was some unheard band's like first record,
Frantic. I like Frantic.
Yeah, Frantic. Yeah.
All Within My Hands is that last song.
Yeah, All Within My Hands. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought
there's some cool shit on there. But yeah, I don't know how they slipped that production through everybody on their team.
I don't either.
How many sets of ears that stuff had to go through.
And
you can see it in the documentary.
The documentary's hilarious.
Yeah, the documentary's great.
It's so great, and
you can see like I love when they bring like
to put that out there.
People from their team, like when they bring in their head of their production company or whatever, and they're just listening to the songs the first time, and you can see he's confused. He's like, okay, and he's trying to not be mean to the band or whatever. And James was getting sober during all that. It was just a weird time that they even got anything put out. And
yeah,
it took him a couple tries before they got anything done too, because he went to rehab and kind of started his life over during all that too, which is crazy.
Now I do like the what's the album that came out after that?
Oh, was that Death Magnetic? Was that
Death Magnetic?
That? Yeah, Death Magnetic's badass.
I like that.
That's where they got back to. That's with Rick Rubin too, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the production on that one is really good.
And then Hardwired isn't that bad.
No, I liked Hardwired a lot too. Yeah.
I don't listen to it a lot, but it's a good album. I dug it.
Mm-hmm.
My Matt Stubbs wants to do a special on their shittiest songs.
Oh, that'd be fun. There's a lot of those that would be on like Garage Inc. That
But I loved Garage.
I love a lot of Garage Inc. too.
I
but
like the old Garage revisited stuff.
yeah, that cover of Tuesday's Gone with John Popper and all that
Yes.
shit. It's really bad.
I like that song.
I love that song too,
But
but
it's like-
that version is just like, oh. And it sounds like they were just all like in the studio jamming, like just having, goofing off.
I wonder.
But I love like all the Misfits covers and all like the super heavy shit on there.
Well, and that's the like Bread Fan's on there.
Bread
I
Fan.
fucking love Bread Fan.
Green Hell, like Die
Green
Die
Hell.
My Darling and all that stuff. So What?
But I wonder if. Oh shit! I forgot where it's going. Anyway,
Yeah.
never mind. I just completely zonked out.
Yeah, there's not been a record of theirs that I just totally blew off. I liked the Load and Reload where they kind of went the alt rock route for a couple of records. Cut all their hair off and went alt rock for a couple of years.
That cracked me up so much because the first time I ever saw them with their hair cut off was the Alice in Chains Unplugged,
Oh yeah.
and Jerry Cantrell wrote on his acoustic around the fretting or
Friends don't let friends give friends haircuts.
yes,
Yeah.
and they're all sitting in the crowd laughing about it.
Man, do you remember I remember seeing like MTV News reports that
Yeah.
Metallica cut their hair off. It was a big deal. Everybody lost their shit over that. I said, man, they're grown ass dudes. They can cut
Yeah.
their fucking. They look cool with their hair short too.
What's the
I
deal?
was like, especially like James and Kirk look cool with their fucking with their hair short. Newstead kind of.
He went full
Yeah, he like
mullet,
Yeah, he did.
so that was funny.
Yeah, I was like, man, I couldn't believe it was like, it was like pop star that cut all of her hair. It was like when Britney Spears shaved her head.
Oh God.
Metallica cuts their hair off, puts out alt rock records.
I came across a
Metal is dead.
crazy reel the other day of crazy MTV stories like someone put together on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and it was stuff like what was his name? Norris.
Oh, no, not Dean Norris is the dude that played Hank on Breaking Bad.
I can't remember.
Jonathan Norris. Is that his name?
I think
Is
so.
it MTV News dude.
But it was all those like breaking MTV news. This has happened, and some of
Oh
them,
wow.
some
Was
of
it on
them are
YouTube or
just-
something?
It's on YouTube.
Oh, I'll look that up later.
If you look up MTV News Reel or Breaking News Reel or whatever and stuff, they would, Michael Jackson was his hair caught on fire today, and blah blah blah.
He hung
And
his
it's
baby
like,
off a
He
balcony.
hung his baby, and it was all Madonna released a video, "Justify My Love," and the Catholic Church is freaking out. And
Oh.
it's funny stuff that you watch it and you look back and you're like, oh yeah.
Man,
Oh yeah, remember when everybody freaked out about "Justify My Love"?
Yeah.
that was the most shocking thing in the world.
remember he freaked out over Like a Prayer?
Yeah,
But the black Jesus and the
What?
burning crosses in the video. I remember being a little kid and being like, what the fuck? This chick's badass. And I was like, what the hell is this?
and nowadays,
And that was a big MTV News deal. But that's all you heard about in those days were Michael Jackson and Madonna, like every day.
and it wasn't just MTV.
hmm
You would turn on local news,
Yeah, on
or-
Nightline, and they'd be talking
Nightline,
about
they'd
the
be
Madonna
like,
video.
And on Nightline tonight, we're going to show you the unedited version of "Justify My Love." I had a videotape of that.
Yeah,
Like I was like, I'm gonna record this.
they would only
tonight
show
so I
it
can
like
see.
after midnight
Yeah.
or whatever,
And I was
which
like,
was still
what?
bold for the time.
There's nothing. Okay, neat. She's topless in half a scene and
Mhm.
like S&M garb, whatever.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Britney Spears videos are way worse.
Yeah. Well, Madonna blew the doors open on that shit, man.
She did.
She was the real deal. She's badass.
There's Prince stuff in there. It's pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to
reel
look that
was
up. I was watching earlier that CNN series on the they do these decade series like the 80s. I watched the
I've
90s.
been wanting to watch those.
The 90s one is on Netflix right now.
Is it?
And the first two episodes are about TV, and then the third episode's all about the music. So like it's a lot of those MTV moments that they talk about.
When I went out, it was in January. I went out to LA for NAMM,
Mhm.
and all the billboards around were Britney Spears in the schoolgirl outfit, and it was CNN the '90s.
Oh yeah,
and
they
I
were
was
promoting.
like, and they were giant. These
I guess
huge building
CNN's
size.
based out of there, right?
Yeah,
The big CNN building on Sunset.
yeah. But there were flyers, there was stuff in the airport and stuff, and I was like, this is not right. Seeing her in that schoolgirl outfit
Right.
again.
Like 15 years later, 18 years later.
Yeah, I was
that was like
what is going
2000.
on? But their big building there, because we drove by it on Sunset, they had it like, it's 18 stories or something, but it's one of those her
Yeah.
in that. And I was like, good Lord.
I was out there
Those days.
a couple months ago as well.
Advertising's
times.
amazing out there.
Yeah, I love that it's all TV and music stuff.
That's
still,
all it is. And
There's
it's
all those-
everywhere. Movies, TV, music.
There's
and
those
it's-
great photos from like the '70s of like the Doors on the billboard on Sunset, like promoting the new Doors album. The new Zeppelin album got a billboard.
Which that's a thing. You've got to go buy that billboard. Like
Yeah.
anytime I go out there, I'm like, we got to cruise down Sunset and see who's on the billboard. Because that's a big deal.
When I was there last time, the Justice League movie was just coming out, so they had all these badass Justice League billboards all up and down Sunset, and on every bus stop and every all over the fucking place.
No one does it like that. And posters, wall posters. Like we actually saw people out there gluing posters to the wall again.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see that anymore.
Yeah,
You don't even see it in Dallas.
yeah, and they do that in New York still.
Yeah.
for sure.
And I never see them do it in New York. Wonder when they do it. It's got to be the middle of the night. But the advertising
assume,
in
yeah.
L.A. is way over the top.
Yeah,
More than New York. New York is all fashion.
yeah,
Like the subways and stuff is all fashion junk.
yep.
But out there, it is. They
It's
are
all
music and movies, entertainment.
stuff, big time.
Well, I wanted to ask you one more thing before we leave.
Yeah,
You used to run the Fox Box?
yeah. How did you know that? Did I tell you that?
It's magic. I have my my producers on the road that tell me things.
Yeah, I did.
How long did you do that?
I did that for a long time. I guess I started doing that when I was like 16 or 17. One of my best buddies, his name's Chris Josephson, who works for Oklahoma City Thunder now. But his dad, Eric Josephson, was a producer for the Rangers and for the Mavericks and for the Stars. I think he worked for the Stars too. But I got in through that, and we started out as runners, taking food to the cameramen and stuff like that, whatever they wanted, if they needed us to help them with stuff. And then I kind of graduated up to learning how to do the Fox Box thing, and I was like, okay, yeah, I've kept score at baseball games before. This is easy. And that was kind of my job for all through like high school and through college too. I did it for a long time.
So doing that, were you on location?
Yeah,
And were you sitting in the truck?
in the truck. Well, with the Rangers at first, the studio was in those outfield suites, and then which was badass. They had an in-house studio in the stadium.
They don't have that anymore, right?
No,
because everything got moved out, and then they put it in a truck.
they moved it out and started using a truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I worked for like Rangers, Stars, Mavs. Did a lot of stuff for like. I ended up getting jobs with ESPN. I did a lot of college football games. Would go down to Waco or I went to A&M a few times and did some college games. Went to UT a couple times. Just kind of was on all these freelance lists, and they'd send you emails like, "Hey, we need someone that can come to College Station on Saturday." And if I was off, I'd be like, "Okay," because they'd pay for your travel and they'd cover your hotel and whatever. Did that for a long time.
That's pretty badass.
But think about getting back into it too. I actually tried a couple years ago, but I've been out of it for so long now that they have so many people available to do it. I'd have to squeeze my way back in somehow.
And that I work with a lot of the local guys
Mm-hmm.
With the Cowboy season stuff, the CMT.
I worked one Cowboy game.
The cheerleader
old
thing,
stadium.
making the team, and it's a bunch of the local guys that are contract, but that circle's tight.
Yeah,
It's
big time.
amazing how tight. Because I talked to him like, so how long you been doing this? I've been doing it for 18 years. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah,
I'm like, and what are you doing? Oh, I'm running media around. I'm taking media from different cameras,
right.
all their discs and stuff, and running it around and offloading it and stuff. And I was like, you've been doing that for 18 years? Yeah. Man, pays good. We
Mhm.
get good gigs. We get to see cool things.
Yeah, Foxbox is like the easiest gig, and that's why they would let high school kids do it, I guess. But it paid like $175 a game or something like that for 19-year-old kid. That was enough. And you work, when I was at the height of it, I would do a couple games a week. If Rangers run on a homestand or whatever, I would work 3 in a row or whatever.
Did you ever do double duty on the Maverick and Stars games, like when they do a double hitter during the day? Or,
Yeah, I did that a couple times.
Or like Stars will play early and the Rangers will play at night.
Yep.
You got enough time to make it.
I remember doing a lot of working a Mavericks game and having a gig at Double Wide in Dallas the same night, and
Well,
being
that's
like,
convenient.
it was easier with basketball and hockey, time wise, because they typically stick to unless you get a crazy overtime situation.
Yeah.
But like Ranger games would be the worst because of course, like I would have a gig booked that night and it'd be a game that goes 14 innings and it's just like shit. And I'd be
Come
like
on.
texting my band like stall. I remember having to freak out and do that a few times. Yeah, it was good times.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Little sports world.
Yeah.
Yeah, those crews are real tight knit. The Rangers crew, I think the Rangers crew is probably my favorite.
I know.
The crew is really fun.
Well, I don't know this season because I haven't seen them all yet. I don't know who's still on it, but the Stars crew is really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tight group, and they're all super nice.
Yeah,
and super chill, and
it's a really stressful environment too. That was a lot. Live TV is I got yelled at whenever I fucked up. I got yelled at by 8 different people.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, fucking wake up, kid. I was like, oh, I'm paying attention. Like, I remember working my first Stars game. I didn't know shit about hockey. So I just said, I needed the money. So I was like, okay, sure. How hard can it be? And then I didn't know what a fucking power play was. I didn't know how the penalty box worked. So I had to, like, learn hockey on the fly. And I was just like, oh, shit. Okay, so this is a 2-minute penalty. Okay.
So you had to put the clock up there?
Yeah.
You weren't just running score. You had to put the clock up there. You had to say who was on the power play.
Right.
And, what type, was it a minor or major or
right.
all that. And then what about the stat stuff?
The clock, the stat stuff is usually by the other graphics crew.
Okay.
That they have the stats guy and the person that actually flies the graphics on and off.
And they just type it in the Krylon, right? Just
yeah.
Done.
Yeah. And then there was a few little things like that I would have to do. Like, I think if there's like a pinch hitter or whatever, I'd have to pick them from the roster and then fly up the graphic and then stuff like that. Yeah, you got to think. You got to think on your feet. Baseball was the easiest because it's the slowest.
Yeah.
And basketball is really fast, but usually, 9 times out of 10, the data would be coming in from the scoreboard in the stadium, so you wouldn't have to actually hit the 2-point button every time they scored a bucket because it's so fast. Like every 5 seconds, there's buckets being scored.
Yeah.
But I would remember doing some like college games where there was no data, so you'd have to hit. You have to run this. So if there's no data, you have to run the clock too manually. So you're running the clock manually and having to hit score.
Holy crap!
Those games are fucking crazy. I was so freaked out. And college football games with no data. I remember working a TCU game where the data was down. So I had to run, and football clock is weird too because there's so many stops on every whistle and, fucking stressful.
I
got yelled at by many directors.
Did you?
Yeah, especially when I would come in and I was like, okay, man, it's hard to do this. There's a lot of moving parts here. Because I'd either forget to stop the clock when the whistle blew because I'm trying to get some other shit going. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then you have to reset the clock to match the clock in the stadium. You'd have a monitor pointed at the scoreboard in the stadium the whole time, so I'd have a monitor to look at and just kind of watch this clock in the stadium.
I was watching some old footage a few weeks ago from Cowboy Super Bowl 91, 92, somewhere in there. One of the first ones with when the team was good in the 90s. And
playing the Bills.
Instead of having a clock in the corner, they had a PIP.
Mm-hmm.
With a camera sitting on the clock in the stadium.
I've worked a few games where they did that. Yeah, the little picture-in-picture
up there in the corner.
Yep.
Cut out, and I was just like, wow.
It's better than relying on some kid to keep up with the clock.
It is, but how much technology has changed?
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool because they put the little PIP inside like the Foxbox area.
Yeah.
And they would just like paste it on there. So I was like, oh, okay, sweet. Now all I have to worry about is how many timeouts and keeping up with the score. And that was well, then you have to still, what down it is, how many yards to go, whose possession. You have to flip the little possession thing. And it's like, shit, you really have to be on your toes on that stuff. It was crazy.
That's so awesome.
It was fun though, yeah.
That's so awesome.
I loved the baseball more than the others for sure because it was way more easy for me to keep up with. And that's the sport I'm most familiar with too.
Is baseball?
I played till I was like 15, from like age 5 to 15.
Well, you know what? We're wrapping up here, but I haven't done this in a while.
Okay.
And I thought it'd be fun to do with you.
Sure.
We do a 10-question lightning round.
Okay.
It's the first thing that comes up on your mind. And
okay.
Sports actually plays into this, but let's start here with number 1. What was the last song you listened to?
Last song I listened to, it was, what What was on the radio when I was listening? I was listening to the radio on the way here. Dang. I can't even remember. I have to look at my phone.
What was the last song you remember listening to?
The last song I remember listening to was Courtney Barnett. It's called Charity off her newest record. That was the last one.
It's kind of badass.
Yeah.
What's your favorite cereal?
Raisin Bran Crunch.
Wow. So adult.
I just bought some yesterday.
Wow, that's so adult of you.
I used to be into Kix. I was always into like the weird cereals.
Kix wasn't bad, but I
Yeah.
always had to drown them in sugar.
I would get cornflakes and put sugar on them instead of just buying Frosted Flakes.
That's way better because I didn't like the frosting on
Yeah,
Frosted Flakes.
it tasted better to me. That was
Yeah.
just something my grandpa taught me when I was a kid.
I'd get.
I'm all about the Raisin Bran Crunch now, or Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the bomb. That's
Mhm.
that's my go-to.
CT Crunch.
Are you a daytime or nighttime person?
Nighttime all the way.
Nice. Which is better, staying in a hotel, going camping, or crashing on a friend's couch?
Hotel.
Hotel.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a big outdoorsman. I'm allergic to everything, so camping and me don't really get along. I've crashed on many a couch, but I would choose a hotel over
A
that.
hotel over that.
If I had the choice, yeah.
Okay, Spider-Man, Batman, or Superman?
Spider-Man. I was always a Superman guy growing up. That was my favorite. But yeah, I've become more of a Spider-Man guy.
I guess I could also throw in Vader, Kylo Ren, or Maul.
Vader.
Yeah,
That's always Vader.
it's always Vader. Favorite television show or series
Like currently or of all time?
of all time? Any, whichever.
The Office is up there
Thank you.
for sure.
That's
Yeah, that's probably the one. That's
Yep.
the one I've watched the most and know the most.
we were just talking about that last week. I think I've gone to that 8 times. The entire.
I've gone through
series.
Lost. I've gone through. I'm watching Lost again right now too. I've gone through The Office I think 5 or 6 times. I've gone through Breaking Bad 5 times.
I can't find myself to go back through it again.
It's a lot. It's like a good song. You catch
Yeah.
shit that you didn't realize.
But I went through Sopranos a lot.
I got through like the first 3 seasons of Sopranos and then got distracted on other shit. I need to go back and pick up where I left off. But I really liked it. I watched all of The Wire. I got really into The Wire.
Wire's great.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Still unlike it. I've never seen anything like that since
And
then. Even.
The ending of it is
Yeah.
spoiler alert. Anybody, I'm going to talk about this right
if you
now.
haven't watched The Wire.
If you haven't watched The Wire, that's so old. It's just like I just watched all this and it didn't change a damn thing.
Mm-mm.
Nothing is going to change in East Baltimore.
That's
Ever.
I think the whole point.
That
though.
is the whole point.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm really into Better Call Saul right now. That's
Better
been
Call
really,
Saul's
it's been
great.
really good.
I haven't started this season yet.
It's good. They only got 1 episode left in this current season.
I've got it all backed up. I haven't started it because Saul's one of those I like to binge it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hate waiting, and I think it helps.
Yeah.
Okay, so back number 7, beer or alcohol?
Beer.
Good deal. Okay, and here's number 8, favorite sports team.
That's a hard one. I would have to probably say, like, if we can we do like all time or is this
Yeah.
currently
All time.
that '90s Bulls were super fun to watch. I used to watch all the fucking Bulls games with Jordan and Rodman and Pippen and
Pippen.
Kerr and all those guys. That was such a cool team to watch.
I think all of us grew up with that, and
Yeah.
that would be if it came down to anything, that would be it.
Yeah,
Favorite Matt that isn't you?
I guess I got to say Matt Tedder, right?
How about famous? How about
Famous-
famous Matt
McConaughey.
McConaughey? All right. Number 10. A talking penguin walks in the door wearing a sombrero. What does he say, and why is he here?
Talking penguin. He says, "Doobie doobie doo."
And why is he here?
He's here to chill everybody out.
That is actual question that Google asked. Higher. And here's a bonus
Okay.
because I found this one too, and it made me laugh.
Okay.
This is asked by Delta,
The airline company.
the airline company.
Okay.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Ooh. A horse-sized duck sounds fucking terrifying. I'll take all the tiny duck-sized horses.
Yeah, because ducks are mean anyway at their own size.
If they were horse size with the bill,
yeah,
and they could still fly and shit, that'd be terrifying.
Definitely terrifying.
Oh yeah. I have nightmares forever. But I think a lot of duck-sized horses, I could just kind of kick them out of the way.
What does that have to do with flying an airplane or working for an airline? Being a baggage handler or
I don't know, man.
Flight attendant. One horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses.
Who would choose to take on a one horse-sized duck?
A very confident,
I guess
badass mofo.
If you got a rifle or something, you can take it. You can take them all down.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
But I think just the image of the horse-sized duck would haunt me for decades. I would never be able to get rid of that.
I got on a weird kick a couple of days ago looking at interview questions because it came up in some other thread somewhere. I think on Reddit somewhere, and people started talking about them. But one of them was, can you name 3 consecutive days without saying Wednesday, Friday, Saturday? Without using the names Wednesday, Friday, or Saturday.
It's not possible.
It is. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, okay. Yeah.
But then some people were throwing out, they would say Thursday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I guess that's the way you think outside the box.
Yeah.
Is by using. But you can't say Friday because my initial reaction was Wednesday, Thanksgiving, Black Friday.
Yeah.
But you can't use the word Friday. So,
or Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, or Wednesday.
Tricky.
So it is very tricky.
I like the outside the box ones, yeah.
Anyway. Well, it's been fun.
Yeah, man.
We'll have to get you again when these releases are a lot closer.
Yeah, they're going to be...
Get all you guys in.
Yeah, they'll be soonish. I don't know when exactly, but
okay.
We will let you know.
We'll figure something out. Get all of you guys that are with Matt in here, and then, of course, all the Vodeo guys.
We would love to.
Get in here and go nuts.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
I appreciate you coming in tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
If you have anything you want to plug?
Anything
coming up?
Come to all the gigs.
All of them.
Next week, we're playing. We have a cool one with Matt Tedder and Jake Palachek's playing. We're playing at Lola's on the 11th of October. We got, I don't know. I have a lot of shit going on next week. Just come out to shows.
You got anything this weekend?
This weekend, what is it? The 5th.
I know there's a big show at Lola's on Friday. Duel and Sub-Sahara are playing.
I actually don't have anything this weekend, which is crazy.
Whoa, you have a weekend off.
I do.
What are you going to do with all this time?
I don't know.
Holy crap. And then I want to throw something out. Royal Sons will be releasing a video tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I saw that, yeah.
Or it's actually today, technically. I shot it for them a couple of months ago.
Oh, you shot it, okay.
And I was, just before we started the show, I got the messages and went in there and checked it out. Got the link to it, and it looks good. Johnny did all the editing, and he did an amazing job on it.
Cool.
So it's cool. I really, really dug it. So it will, I guess, if I put the show up.
Where'd y'all shoot it?
On Wednesday. We shot it over at Lucky Sevens. It's a motorcycle shop over there.
Okay.
And what do they call that?
In the mid-cities?
No, it's over in, used to be, I think. But it's over in Exposition Park, right there outside of Fair Park.
Ah, okay. Right on.
I moved over there. You know where that, you ever go that, it's not Rodeo Goat, the Goat Ranch? It was a driving range that you could...
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It was a bar with a driving range.
Right, yeah, I've never been there, but yeah, I know what you're
Same
talking
property.
About. It was like old school Top Golf before there was Top Golf.
Yeah, you could hit TVs and cars and shatter things and bottles and stuff while driving golf balls. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Nice.
So yeah,
cool. Yeah,
it'll be out. It'll be out today because the show will be up today. So anyway,
Excellent.
Go check it out and let us know what you think. You can email us jerryjonestownmassacre@gmail.com, and you can call us at 682-593-JJTM. So let's get out of here.
Word.
See you later.
Later.
Let me stop this.